Chapter 101. The Harvest Festival begins 3. Once the carrot harvest competition was over. Squeak. Pi ppi. Squeal. Squeep. The excitement of the rabbits started to rise, and a festive atmosphere began to unfold. However, Sejun, who needed to harvest crops to complete his job quest, couldn't join in the fun. Therefore, he let the rabbits enjoy the festival, and he got to work with Kyungi, Theo, and Iona. Even though he could work alone, he needed to supervise the minor Kyungi, who was covetously eyeing the makgeolli that the black rabbit was drinking. According to his mother, the crimson giant bear, Kyungi needed to see about 10 more blue moons to be considered an adult. And Theo and Iona wouldn't leave Sejun's lap, no matter what he said. Snip snip. Thus, with his 3 animal companions, Sejun harvested cherry tomatoes. You have harvested the well-ripened magical cherry tomatoes. You need to harvest 72,811 more times to complete your job quest. Your job experience slightly increases. Your proficiency in harvesting LV5 slightly increases. You have gained 30 experience points. Even though it was easier to cut the branch and harvest multiple at once, but that would allow him to use the harvesting skill only once, so Sejun was picking the cherry tomatoes one by one. Then, you have harvested underripe magical cherry tomatoes. You need to harvest 72,744 more times to complete your job quest. Your job experience slightly increases. Your skill proficiency in harvesting LV5 slightly increases. You have gained 23 experience points. He even harvested the underripe cherry tomatoes in order to use the harvesting skill. After picking all the cherry tomatoes in the ground field, Sejun went down to the cave with the animals, and then Kyungi went into the pond to hunt. Iona, keep an eye on Kyungi. Okay. Upon Sejun's instructions, Iona left Sejun's lap and Theo's tail and followed Kyungi into the pond. With Iona's magic skills, Kyungi wouldn't be in danger. Master, welcome. Flamey, waving its leaves, greeted Sejun. Sorry, I should visit more often. Isn't it boring being here alone? No, you're here now, Master, and I have the ints, so I'm okay. Flamey, as always, spoke sweetly. Pad pad. Sejun stroked Flamey's leaves. He was uneasy because Flamey seemed to grow slower compared to other crops. Heh, I feel good. Then, rumble. The ground began to shake. Huh. While Sejun quickly regained his balance, the ground stopped shaking. What happened? Did Kyungi cause trouble? Well, I'm not sure. Sejun spent about 10 minutes stroking Flamey's leaves and checking if the ground would shake again, but it was calm after that. Is everything okay? Relieved, Sejun started harvesting the cherry tomatoes again. Air bubble. Iona used magic spell so that she and Kyungi could breathe underwater. A transparent air bubble formed around their heads. Kyungi, intrigued by the air bubble around his head, looked at Iona in admiration. Kaiwat, it's not a big deal. Now enjoy as much as you want. Kyungi. At Iona's words, Kyungi energetically swam around the pond, hunting fish. Thanks to the air bubble, Kyungi, who gained courage, went down to the bottom of the pond. Kyungi had always been curious, because he was told never to go to the bottom when he was with his big brother, the black rabbit. So he reached the bottom of the pond. Kyungi. What's this? Following Kyungi, Iona arrived at the bottom of the pond and discovered a massive root stretching towards the Sea of Dimensions. Then, whoosh! They could see a bright light flowing in from the roots on the side of the Sea of Dimensions. Krung! Iona and Kyungi's gaze followed the light. And the light, entering into the massive root of the tree piercing through the ground, it was easy to tell whose root it was. There was only one tree here. It was the Flamey. Rumble! The tree's root, having absorbed the light, grew and the ground shook. As expected of Sejun, you've been growing something this amazing. Iona was astonished by the massive root of Flamey that connected all the way to the Sea of Dimensions. Then, Wriggle, excuse me. Flamey spoke to Kyungi and Iona, moving its roots. Phew, it's done. Sejun quickly finished harvesting the cherry tomatoes. Then, splash, Kyungi and Iona emerged from the water. Blow warm wind, warm wind. Iona used magic to neatly remove the moisture stuck to their fur. Did you have fun? Kaiwat, 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 yes. Kroong. Iona's voice was also cheerful, indicating she had fun too. Then let's rest a bit. Flamey, I'll come back tomorrow. Okay, see you tomorrow. As Sejun said goodbye to Flamey and started to go up to the surface. Don't forget your promise, you know, right? Flamey spoke to Iona and Kyungi. Kaiwat, 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 of course. Kroong. At Flamey's words, Iona and Kyungi nodded their heads and followed Sejun to the surface. The three had made some sort of agreement not to speak about Flamey's roots. The reason Flamey wanted to hide its roots was very simple. I want to look cute to my master. It seemed that if Sejun saw the massive roots, he would no longer look at Flamey adorably. When Sejun reached the surface, clatter, clatter, squeak, squeak. The rabbits were wasted from drinking heavily. Why did you all drink so much? While Sejun was trying to lay the sprawled-out rabbits down properly. Drink up. The black dragon statue was forcing the rabbits to drink. Know what happens if you leave even a drop, right? Gulp. The atmosphere was so intense, as if they would die if they didn't drink. It was understandable why the rabbits ended up like this, as there was no creature brave enough to refuse a drink handed over by Kaiser. Then, Park Sejun, you rascal, where have you been? When Kaiser, who caused this situation, spotted Sejun. Flap, flap. He flew over to Sejun and handed him a cup filled to the brim with Maxiali. Thank you. Sejun, who was already parched, carefully took the cup. And then, he brought the cup of Maxiali close to his nose and smelled the aroma. HMPH, so you do know how to appreciate alcohol. The fact that Sejun smelled the scent of the Maxiali, checking if it was similar to the one he drank on Earth, appeared to Kaiser as savoring the aroma before drinking, which slightly increased Kaiser's favorability towards him, who also loved alcohol. It's stronger than the Maxiali I used to drink on Earth, huh? However, the proportion of the sour and sweet smell was similar to what he had on Earth. Gulp. He swallowed his saliva, full of anticipation for the Maxiali. With a heart full of excitement, Sejun took a sip of the Maxiali. Oh! The sweet, bitter, and sour flavors flowed smoothly down Sejun's throat without causing any sense of discomfort. Gulp. Call it sweet. Sejun unwittingly cried out in exhilaration at the refreshing sensation of carbonation hitting his throat. The Maxiali had a strong carbonation because Kaiser had lowered its temperature using magic. Gulp, gulp. Sejun finished his Maxiali in one gulp and extended his glass. It was truly refreshing and sweet to drink after work. Ah, another one, please. Ha ha ha, Park Sejun, you really know how to drink. Kaiser, pleased, poured Sejun another drink. Kaiser had been feeling lonely without a drinking partner. The tower's administrator expresses her desire to drink Maxiali too. Aileen, you're still young. I'll give it to you when you're older. Yeah, Sejun's right. You have to wait at least 200 years. The tower's administrator says it's now 180 years. Somehow, the waiting time had reduced from 250 years to 180 years. The tower's administrator is now upset and says she won't talk to Grandpa anymore. What, Aileen Tilda, Park Sejun, it's all your fault, Thus, Kaiser, who had been blocked again by Aileen, drank Maxiali for a few hours, grumbling about his situation to Sejun, but neither of them got drunk. Kaiser, being a dragon, had a superior physical ability and couldn't get drunk on just Maxiali. Munch, munch. Sejun was eating detoxifying green onions as a hangover cure, although he liked Maxiali but didn't particularly enjoy getting drunk. Above all, he was scared that he might say something wrong to Kaiser if he got drunk. He had to keep his wits about him, as one mistake could cost him his life. So, as a result of maintaining his sobriety, by eating lots of detoxifying green onions. TCH, we've run out of alcohol. It was fun drinking together. Having finished the Maxiali, Kaiser returned to the fountain. Guys, eat this. Sejun, who had been drinking with Kaiser, fed the rabbits detoxifying green onions to help them sober up. Choo-choo. Squeak. Fortunately, thanks to Sejun, the rabbits were quickly able to regain their senses. However, as night fell, Sejun regretted what he had done. The rabbits, refreshed from their naps, began mating activities all over the field throughout the night. Squeal, squeal. Hoot, hoot. The panting sounds coming from all directions like surround sound. Be quiet, world, silence. Yona, annoyed by the disturbance to her sleep, cast a magic spell to block the noise around Sejun's house. Thanks to her, Sejun was able to sleep peacefully, but for some reason he felt uneasy. Morning of the 266th day of being stranded. All right. When Sejun got up and went outside, only a few rabbits were wandering around. It was quiet. Hello, singles. Being out in the daytime meant they were singles, and there was no sign of the black rabbit among the group of singles. You've grown up, Black Rabbit. Live well. Sejun blessed the black rabbit that had left the singles' life and prepared breakfast. Today's breakfast was bread and cheese with soup. Of course, he grilled separate fish for Theo. Guys, let's eat. Give me the fish, meow. Kaiwat, 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 okay. Kroong. At Sejun's call, the animals that had had a peaceful night ran over. Munch, munch. The animals were eagerly eating their breakfast. Okay, eat a lot and regain your energy. Sejun served a generous breakfast to boost the morale of the singles. Kroong. Thanks to that, the happiest one was Kyungi. Kyungi, let's eat all of this, isn't it great? Sejun tried to win over Kyungi with food in a childish way. While they were eating breakfast. Wow, Emma, look at this, it's corn. Oh, that's right, corn cob full of kernels is a top-notch product. The raccoons were inspecting Sejun's crops. Emil, come here and try this. Sejun, hearing Emil's compliments about his corn, decided to offer his hospitality. Me, yes, thank you. Emil wanted to refuse, but he couldn't reject the gracious offer from the great black dragon. It might cause bigger trouble. Chief Emil, you can do it. The other raccoons cheered for Emil, who was being called by Sejun. At that moment, what are you doing? You guys should come too. When Sejun beckoned to the other raccoons. Yes. The raccoons who had been cheering for Emil rushed over. And thus they had a meal together. Here, this is the soup I made. Thank you. The raccoons, forcing smiles, ate the purple soup that Sejun handed to them. It was a truly unappetizing color. However, after a mouthful, such thoughts instantly vanished. It's so delicious. It's really good. The raccoons began to eat the soup enthusiastically. It went well with the bread and cheese. Moreover, you have consumed the enhanced purple sea peas carrot soup. Agility increases by 10.5 for 1 hour. There was even a buff after they finished the soup. Well, what's this? The raccoons were shocked to find that the food had a buff. Phew phew hut, do you want it, meow? Theo chuckled watching the raccoons. Chapter 102, The Harvest Festival begins 4. Yes, we want to buy. Nod, nod. The raccoons nodded their heads vigorously in response. The soup was valuable as a product for its taste alone, but the effects when consumed were exceptional. It increased agility by 10.5 for an hour and kept one feeling full for a full 4 hours. There were plenty of other floors or towers where they could sell the soup if they could buy it. Even if it didn't sell, they could eat it themselves. If agility increases, our raccoons' work speed will increase. The production rate would probably increase by about 15% compared to before. It was a win-win situation in any case. I will buy 500 servings of soup for 3 tower coins per serving. Tell me more, Meow. If you tell me what you want to increase among strength, agility, and magic power, we can make the soup according to that, Meow. Is that really possible? Yes, it is, Meow. Theo confidently answered. He's doing well. Sejun, who was watching Theo's trade, nodded his head in satisfaction, grinning. In that case, I'll buy 200 servings for each stat for 5 tower coins per serving. Good, Meow, deal complete. As Theo was about to shake hands with Emil to finalize the deal. Hold on. Sejun stopped him. There was no need to worry about Theo being swindled anymore. However, he still had a bit more to learn. Meow. Why, what's wrong? Theo and Emil both looked at Sejun, confused. Theo, pay attention. I'll show you the world of limited editions. Emil, I can't sell it at that price. There's something I didn't mention. This soup is a limited edition soup that we're only selling 5,000 servings externally because the ingredients are scarce. In fact, we don't even have much to eat ourselves. Although there was plenty of purple locust meat in the void storage, but it was also true that they couldn't get more now. Sejun had slightly exaggerated the truth. A limited edition. At Sejun's words of only selling 5,000 servings, Emil's voice trembled. I want to buy. The soup suddenly gained a tremendous scarcity value, stimulating Emil's desire to buy it. How about it? I would like to buy all 5,000 servings at twice the price you mentioned earlier. In response to Sejun's question, Emil replied as if he was mesmerized. Okay, I'll sell all of them to you, Emil. Plus, I'll throw in some other crops as well. Other crops as well, thank you. At Sejun's words, Emil bowed his head in gratitude. And then, wow, that's amazing, Meow. Sejun is a god of trade, Meow. Theo looked at Sejun with a gaze of awe beyond admiration. Sejun was already a god-level figure in terms of farming, and now he was a god-level trader as well, in Theo's eyes. Just as they concluded, another deal with the raccoon tribe. Squeak, squeal, squeak. Rabbits who had been working all night formed pairs and walked out from various parts of the field like zombies. They were so hungry and had no energy. However, sorry, but you'll have to wait a little. What greeted them was a pot licked clean by Kyungi. The rabbits had no choice but to wait while holding their hungry bellies until breakfast was ready. It was Sejun's timid revenge. By the way, where do you get the ingredients for the food you sell? Sejun asked Emil, the chief of the raccoon tribe, as he was cooking soup. Rice cakes and makgeolli require rice, bread requires flour, and cheese requires milk. That meant Emil had somewhere to get rice, flour, and milk. Sejun wanted to get them too. We make the cheese by processing the milk from the milk spring in front of our village with our secret method. Milk spring? You're saying milk comes out of a spring? Yes, milk comes out of the spring. Emil looked at him as if to ask if there was a problem with that, tilting his head. No. Sejun had nothing to say to the fact that it comes out of a spring. And what about the rice and flour? Those are grown by tower farmer Cecilia from the Golden Tower, where our village is located. Golden Tower? Yes, the tower managed by the great golden dragons. But who is the tower farmer of this black tower? I want to introduce myself. Emil looked around for the tower farmer. It's me. You mean you, the great black dragon Sejun is farming. Emil was greatly surprised at Sejun's words. Was it really that surprising? Yes. That's amazing. You're completely different from Ophelia. Emil praised Sejun as he watched him. Ophelia, the green tower farmer Ophelia. Sejun recalled the magical agility carrot grown by Ophelia. He had received them as a reward from the carrot harvest competition. Yes, as you know, she is also a great green dragon, but her farming is. Sejun could understand why Emil was surprised and why he hesitated in his speech. Because Sejun himself had tried the carrots grown by Ophelia, her farming skills were really poor. But could I get seeds of rice and wheat from Cecilia, the Golden Tower farmer? Seeds, yes, I will convey message to her. And bring me some milk next time. Yes, I will bring it at the next harvest festival. Then, enhanced purple CP's potato soup has been completed. Cooking LV4 proficiency has slightly increased. Enhanced purple CP's carrot soup has been completed. The soups made for strength, agility, and magic power were ready. Here you go. Thank you. Sejun handed the pot of completed soup to Emil, who put it in his space bag. Pay me for it, meow. Here it is. Theo, who needed to increase his sales as a wandering merchant, received the money. Follow me, meow. I'll get you the crops, meow. Theo, leading the raccoons, picked up a few kinds of crops from the storage. And then, is this an item? Seeing that eating crops also increased their stats, the raccoons spent all their money buying Sejun's crops, and at a very high price. It was the first time they encountered such tasty and beneficial crops. Thanks to this, Theo swept up all the money from the raccoons. Then I'll see you at the next harvest festival. We will bring more money next time. Goodbye. The raccoons left, determined to buy more crops next time. After the raccoons left yesterday, Sejun planted the carrot seeds he got from the carrot harvest competition. In the afternoon, he went to the western forest, and with the help of the blessing of Mana, enlarged the size of the pit so that the fire ants could not approach the western forest. After that, he repeatedly picked and planted the seeds of the ants, then went home and slept. Thanks to this, the number of ants increased to 2,000. All right. As soon as Sejun woke up from his bed, his knees felt heavy as usual. Theo and Iona, who were clinging on Sejun's knee and sleeping. Swoosh. With the two still hanging on his knee, Sejun drew a line on the wall and started the morning of the 267th day of being stranded. There's not much time left until the blue moon. There were 5 days left until the next blue moon. Aileen, I'm counting on you for this blue moon too. The tower administrator shouts out loud, asking you to trust her. Yes, of course I trust you. While he was talking to Aileen, the second competition of the Harvest Festival, the carrot eating competition, will start shortly. Participants who wish to participate in the competition, please gather in front of the Red Ribbon's giant carrot altar. A message announcing the second competition of the Harvest Festival appeared. Whoosh! The rabbits ran towards the giant carrot altar after seeing the message. Let's go too. As Sejun and Kyungi, who had been waiting in front of the house, went to the giant carrot altar. Time remaining for participation application, 9 minutes 51 seconds. Current number of applicants, 1032. A message like this was floating under the giant carrot altar. All the rabbits have applied, let's apply too. Sejun went under the giant carrot altar and applied for participation with Theo, Iona, and Kyungi. Current number of participation applications, 1037. Why did it increase by 5 instead of 4? I'm here too, Sejun. The golden bat, hidden in Kyungi's fur, poked its head out and said, Oh, you were there, why are you there? It's dark and warm here, so I like it. Kroong. Kyungi seemed to have no idea why Sejun was looking at his back and talking. While Sejun was talking to the golden bat. Roar. Thump thump. The mother crimson giant came to the giant carrot altar and applied for participation. With this, the first place is decided. There was no creature that could beat the mother crimson giant bear, whose wish was always to eat to her heart's content. But then, thump 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 thump. As if to mock Sejun's prediction, another strong competitor appeared. Moo, moo, moo. Giant entities running from afar with a powerful roar. They were Minotaur King and the Black Minotaurs. They also participated in the competition to eat to their heart's content. Current number of applicants, 2038. Minotaur King and 999 black minotaurs participated in the carrot eating competition. Shortly after, the application period has ended. Applicants, please gather under the red ribbon's giant carrot altar. The carrot eating competition will start in 1 minute. As Sejun and the animals who applied for the competition gather under the altar, the competition begins. Along with the message announcing the start of the competition, a huge basket full of carrots appeared in front of everyone. The quantity was definitely over 100 at a glance. Rumble! Rumble! As soon as it started, Minotaur King and the Mother Crimson Giant Bear stuffed carrots into their mouths. Chomp chomp! After chewing and swallowing a few carrots, the basket was refilled with carrots. Well, while Sejun was watching the disappearing carrots, Kyungi quickly grew larger and ate the carrots quickly, as if he couldn't lose. And then, crunch crunch! Knowing that they already had no chance of winning, Sejun and the rabbits chewed carrots from the perspective of spectators and watched the food fighters eat with interest. The carrots, while not as flavorful as the ones from their own farm, were still quite edible. While they were watching, Minotaur King and Mother Crimson Giant Bear emptied the 10th basket. Oh! The basket was now filled with 10 giant carrots instead of regular ones, to make it more difficult for them to eat. However, for Minotaur King and the Mother Crimson Giant Bear, the giant carrots were the right size, making them easier to chew. Moo! Roar! Minotaur King and Mother Crimson Giant Bear let out a happy roar. Roar! Kyungi also increased his eating speed, as if he could not lose. Rumble! Rumble! Soon Minotaur King and Mother Crimson Giant Bear had emptied their 20th basket. They showed no signs of slowing down. Kriung! Kyungi barely finished eating all the carrots in the 10th basket. He couldn't eat much at once, maybe because his mouth was smaller than the adults. Kriung! Just when Kyungi was about to eat the giant carrots. The carrot eating competition has ended prematurely due to all prepared carrots being exhausted. Whether the scale of the competition was small or the participants ate too much, the competition always ended prematurely due to the exhaustion of carrots. Moo! Roar! Minotaur King and Mother Crimson Giant Bear made a disappointed expression at the message of the end of the competition. It's because they still hadn't filled their stomachs. Kriung! Kyungi, who couldn't win first place or eat his fill, cried in his mother's arms. Carrot eating competition ranking. Joint first place Minotaur King, Red Fur 20 baskets. Third place Kyungi 10 baskets. Rewards will be given to the first, second, and third place winners of the carrot eating competition. Meanwhile, the ranking was displayed and the rewards were given. Plub. Sob sob. Sob, Dad is weak, so you need to eat this. Kyungi, who still hadn't stopped crying, gave Sejun 1 black pill, the size of a candy, which he had received as a reward. Moo! Roar! Minotaur King and Mother Crimson Giant Bear also nodded and gave Sejun 4 black pills each, which they received as rewards. Thank you. As a token of gratitude, Sejun served additional food to Minotaur King and Mother Crimson Giant Bear, and Kyungi, who were still hungry. And he checked the rewards. Agility Potion. Right Arrow, a potion made from the extract of 10,000 carrots grown by an inexperienced farmer, aimed to enhance the weak effects of the underdeveloped carrots. Right Arrow, it is utterly tasteless. Right Arrow, upon consumption, agility permanently increases by 1.5. Right Arrow Producer, Blue Tower Farmer Zelga. Right Arrow Expiration Date, 100 years. Right Arrow Grade, C+. Utterly tasteless. Damn. These guys are all joking around with the food everyone eats. He. Sejun swallowed 9 agility potions with his eyes tightly closed. All he had to do was chew quickly and swallow. However, Sejun, your mouth smells like shit. Bleg. The smell of the leftover potion lingered in his mouth for quite a long time. You guys are all mean. In the end, the only one who stuck around Sejun was Theo, who had chosen knees over his sense of smell. Thanks, President Theo. Meow, don't open your mouth, meow. Theo hurriedly blocked Sejun's mouth with his front paw. On the 267th day of being stranded, Sejun had to stay at home all day due to the smell of shit coming from his mouth. Chapter 103. The Harvest Festival begins 5. The 268th day of being stranded, morning. As soon as Sejun, who had just woken up and come outside, found Kyungi playing alone in front of his house, he tried to question what had happened yesterday. However, Kyungi, you knew your medicine you gave me smelled like poop, didn't you? President Park, shut your mouth, meow. The smell of poop is still lingering, meow. You still. Theo quickly covered Sejun's mouth, and Sejun was once again confined to his house. He couldn't harm the animals with sensitive noses. Fortunately, by the afternoon, the smell from his mouth completely disappeared. Of course, to get rid of the smell, Sejun had to eat a lot of green onions and water. Phew, now it seems a bit more like living. Sejun came outside the house and said this, taking a deep breath. Kryung. As Sejun came out, Kyungi, who had been guarding the front of the house, loitered around him. Dad, I'm sorry. Kyungi, come here. Kryung. Kyungi cautiously approached Sejun at his words. Kyungi, why are you so down? Is this how parents feel? Seeing Kyungi looking at him cautiously, Sejun felt bad. How much stress must the kid have gone through to be so down, he thought. Kryung. Seeing that Sejun seemed to be in a better mood, Kyungi rubbed his face against Sejun's leg. Swipe, swipe. Kyungi, are you going to give me something that smells like poop again? When Sejun petted Kyungi's head and asked. Kryung. I won't give you anything that smells like poop anymore. Kyungi responded by shaking his head vigorously. All right, let's go eat then. Kryung. At Sejun's words, Kyungi cheered. In this way, Sejun started cooking in the kitchen. Today's dish was rice cake soup. There were rice cakes, and the harvest festival gave it a holiday vibe. Yona, please cut these rice cakes diagonally like this. Yes, wind cutter. Yona began to slice the dried rice cakes with magic. President Park, I can cut the rice cake too, meow. Why don't you let me do anything, meow? Swish. Theo unsheathed its sharp claws and asked Sejun why he wasn't being asked to do anything. President Theo, take a break. A president doesn't always have to step in. Sejun was worried that Theo moving around to cut the rice cake might cause his fur to stick to the rice cake, but he spoke carefully so as not to hurt Theo's feelings. Is that so, meow? Got it, meow. Then, as a president, I'll take my rest even more seriously, meow. Theo, who didn't quite understand Sejun's words but took them as the truth, decided to take a rest as Sejun suggested. Puhuhu. Now I, President Theo, don't have to do such chores and can still have Sejun's lap, meow. In this way, Theo happily started resting on Sejun's lap. While Yona was cutting the rice cakes, Sejun prepared the broth for the rice cake soup. Chieka. He put the purple locust meat in the pot, stir-fried it, poured water, and kept boiling it with detoxifying green onions. Now all he had to do was wait for the broth. Slice, slice, slice. While waiting for the broth to be ready, Sejun chopped some green onions. They were for garnishing the rice cake soup. Kaiwat, I've cut them all. Yep, good job. Yes, anything else you want me to do? No, that's all. Yes. Hearing from Sejun that there was no more work, Iona ran to Theo, wrapped herself up with Theo's tail and took a rest. Is it ready? Sejun tasted the broth. Now I just need to put in the rice cakes and adjust the seasoning. Sejun put the sliced rice cakes into the pot and seasoned it with salt. Kryung, Kryung. Kyungi danced around in anticipation, shaking his butt. Just wait a little, it's almost done. Kryung. A little later. You have achieved the achievement of making purple rice cake soup for the first time in the tower. The recipe for purple rice cake soup will be registered in Cooking LV. 4. Your proficiency in Cooking LV. 4 greatly increases. The rice cake soup was ready. Shall we see what effects it has? Sejun checked the options of the rice cake soup. Purple rice cake soup. Right arrow. The meat of the purple locust and the detoxifying green onion were boiled at high heat, allowing the nutrients of the two ingredients to permeate the broth. Right arrow. The detoxifying green onions neutralize the extreme poison in the purple locust meat, preventing the dish from spoiling easily. Right arrow. The taste is slightly improved. Right arrow. A feeling of satiety is maintained for an hour. Right arrow. Chef, Tower Farmer Park Sejun. Right arrow. Expiration date, 10 days. Right arrow. Grade, D+. There are no effects other than satiety. Perhaps because there were no crops included except for the detoxifying green onions. There were no options attached to the food. Well, as long as it tastes good, here. Sejun filled Kyungi's bowl with rice cake soup and then filled his own. He topped it off with chopped green onions and sprinkled some pepper. Let's eat now. Kryung. As soon as Sejun scooped some soup into his mouth, Kyungi also hurriedly started drinking the soup. Ah, this is delicious. The soup had a well-seasoned chicken-flavored broth, and the rice cakes, sliced to a perfect thickness, provided a nice chewy texture. Thanks to the dried rice cakes, there was an additional crunch when chewing. Slurp. While Sejun was immersed in his soup. Kryung. Kyungi, who had quickly finished a bowl, ladled more soup from the pot into his bowl and sat down to eat. However, slurp slurp. At first, Kyungi would return to his seat to eat, then go back to the pot for seconds. But later, he just started drinking soup straight from the bowl in front of the pot. By the time Sejun finished a bowl. Huh, you already finished. Kyungi had finished the entire pot. Heather. Kyungi patted his stomach and laughed in satisfaction. Then, sigh. Kyungi is now older than me. How does it feel? You've become Grandpa Kyungi. Sejun started to tease with a mischievous smile. Kryung. Kyungi was puzzled when Sejun suddenly called him Grandpa. Why am I suddenly a grandpa? Sorry, I should have told you for every bowl of rice cake soup you eat, you age a year. Kryung. Kyungi was startled by Sejun's words. He quickly started calculating how many bowls of soup he had eaten. Judging by the size of the pot, he must have had around 200 bowls. He suddenly became a 200-year and 198 days old crimson giant honey bear. Kryung. Kyungi was devastated. He was now older than his dad. His brothers Theo and Black Rabbit and sister Choo Choo were all younger than him. Then, Kryung. Suddenly, an idea popped into Kyungi's head. Am I now the eldest brother? Meow. Swoosh. Kyungi grabbed Theo and ran outside. He was trying to re-establish the hierarchy. Ha Kyungi. Sensing that something was off, Sejun tried to follow Kyungi, but then. A quest has been generated. Quest: serve 175 bowls of the purple rice cake soup that makes you 1 year older per bowl to the great black dragon, Aileen Pratani. Reward: a chance to meet me. If refused, refusal is rejected. Aileen, who took Sejun's joke seriously, gave out a quest. Aileen, that was just. Sejun hastily tried to correct his joke. Kryung. I'm now the eldest brother, because I'm 200 years old. Kyungi gathered Theo, Black Rabbit, and Golden Bat in the cave, announcing that he was the oldest and should therefore be the big brother. However, what are you talking about, Meow? How did Kyungi suddenly become 200 years old, Meow? And I'm 250 years old, Meow. Stop talking nonsense and go to President Park's lap, Meow. Theo wasn't yet ready to accept Kyungi as older. Then, squeak squeak, being older doesn't make you the big brother. We should decide it by who came here first. That's nonsense, Meow. We should establish the hierarchy based on who brought the most help to President Park, meow. Black Rabbit's words sparked another debate on the criteria for deciding the brotherly hierarchy. We should decide based on who brought the most help to President Park, meow. Squeak, we should decide by who came here first. Creong, no, let's decide by size. Screech, I'm okay with anything. Even if Golden Bat tried, he could never be the eldest brother, so he simply watched from behind. Then, well then I'll be the eldest brother, no eldest sister. Flamey interrupted their conversation. What are you talking about, meow? I was the first one here, and I'm the biggest. Since she was the first one planted, and she had a gigantic root underground, Flamey's claim was valid. Moreover, I can give assistance to the master. I can't accept that, meow. Theo yelled in response to Flamey's words. He could accept the rest, but not the third claim. Then, how about this? Along with Flamey's words, a amberjack fish over 10 meters long appeared in the pond. It was a fish that Flamey had directly caught from the Sea of Dimensions with its root. That's a huge fish, meow. Theo quickly ran towards the amberjack fish. What do you think? You agree? Meow, I still can't accept it, meow. The hierarchy should be determined by age, meow. Theo, who could not concede the highest rank to Flamey, shouted, hugging the amberjack fish. Creong, I agree. I also agree. Thanks to Kyungi and Flamey's approval, Theo managed to maintain the position of eldest brother. Kyungi was happy to become the second in command. However, Kyungi, the thing I said earlier was a joke. Sejun, who had just finished explaining to Aileen, told Kyungi the truth. Kyungi glared at Sejun with resentment. How could you say that now? Squeak. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The Black Rabbit was glaring at Kyungi, swinging the hammer with angry eyes. Kehehe, if I eat one bowl of rice cake soup, I'll age 1 year. Aileen, who was now able to hear voices through the crystal orb as her magic power increased, was excited upon hearing Sejun's voice. Kehehe, if I eat only 175 bowls of that, I can meet Sejun too. Thanks to eating honey jelly every day, Aileen's dragon heart was in a better condition. Aileen quickly gave Sejun a quest. Quickly make 175 bowls of rice cake soup for me. However, Aileen, I'm sorry, I was joking with Kyungi. In the place I lived, there's a custom that you age 1 year if you eat rice cake soup. Sejun said that his words were a joke. Of course, Sejun cooked the rice cake soup for her, but it didn't improve Aileen's mood. Kyuhuhu, I'm sad but it's delicious. While Aileen was eating the rice cake soup with teary eyes. What? Why is our princess crying? Kaiser, noticing something was wrong with Aileen, quickly asked. Kyuhuhu, grandfather, I want to polymorph and meet Sejun. Aileen, who burst into tears at Kaiser's words, spoke while sobbing. Okay, if our granddaughter wishes for it, this old man will help. Kaiser, somewhat wanted to keep Sejun a little closer, accepted her request. Really? Course, but don't block me while talking to your grandpa from now on, okay? Yes. The reason Kaiser could make such a bold promise to Aileen was thanks to the blessing of mana that spread across the 99th floor of the tower as the harvest festival began. Due to the blessing of mana, the concentration of mana on the 99th floor was gradually increasing. By the last day of the festival, when the mana concentration on the 99th floor reached its peak, Kaiser thought Aileen could stay in polymorphed form for a few minutes if he assisted her. From now on, I'll teach you polymorph. Listen carefully. Yes. Kaiser started to teach Aileen the polymorph magic. Chapter 104. The Harvest Festival begins 6. Squeak. Creong. While the pissed-off Black Rabbit was chasing Kyungi, who plotted the coup. Theo, where did this amberjack fish come from? Sejun asked Theo, who was preparing to put the amberjack fish into his bag. Ah, this one, meow. Well, this is. Just as Theo was about to explain about the amberjack fish caught by Flamey. Master, what's happening here? Flamey hurriedly called out to Sejun, trying to divert his attention. Oh, it's because of Kyungi. Are they being noisy while you're resting? I'll take them away quickly. Yes, thank you. While Flamey was responding. Swish. One of Flamey's roots grabbed Theo's leg. And, please keep it a secret that I caught the amberjack fish. Flamey, who wanted to hide its size, made a request to Theo. No way, meow. There are no secrets between me and President Park, meow. In exchange, I'll catch a big fish like this every month, big brother. Pew phew fut, did you just call me big brother, meow? Theo was pleased with the new term of address. Yes, big brother. All right, meow. I'll keep it a secret, meow, President Park. I caught this amberjack fish, meow. Theo fell for the new term of address, big brother. Sigh. Flamey let out a sigh of relief. However, Theo, you hate getting in the water, don't you? Meow, that's. Theo started to stutter all of a sudden. Are you hiding something from me? It's a secret, meow. Theo ran outside in response to Sejun's questioning. What's with him? Sejun muttered as he watched Theo behave strangely. Then, Black Rabbit, please forgive Kyungi now. Kyungi has probably reflected a lot. Isn't that right, Kyungi? Sejun made the Black Rabbit and Kyungi reconcile. Kriong Kriong. Kyungi nodded vigorously at Sejun's words. Squeak. The Black Rabbit forgave Kyungi, saying only this time. Kriong. Excited that the Black Rabbit had forgiven him, Kyungi ran around carrying the Black Rabbit on his back, acting as a horse. Then, snap. What? During this, Theo returned to Sejun's knee. Theo, who had run away because he couldn't reveal the secret, couldn't stay away from Sejun's lap for too long, so in the end he returned to Sejun's even after running away. Theo, how dare you keep a secret from me? Plop. Sejun pulled Theo's cheeks as punishment for the runaway cat. Pressy Park sore, meow. FL gave to me, meow. Finally Theo confessed, but his pronunciation was all muddled. Hezeli. Sejun enjoyed touching Theo's soft chubby cheeks, which felt like sweet rice cake the more he touched. He had long forgotten about Theo's response. Thanks to this, Flamey's secret was kept safe. Morning of the 269th day of being stranded. It's been 6 days since the Harvest Festival began. Is there going to be a competition today? Sejun said while drinking his morning coffee. Judging from the pattern so far, there were carrot harvesting competitions on the 2nd day of the Harvest Festival and carrot eating competitions on the 4th day. After harvesting and eating, maybe the next one will be something like carrot cooking or carrot carving. As Sejun was thinking about the next competition. Squeak squeak. Kriong kriong. The reconciled Black Rabbit and Kyungi came looking for Sejun, singing together. Thud. Thud. Suddenly, the Black Rabbit and Kyungi bowed their heads, performing a formal bow to Sejun. And then, squeak. Kriong. They put their palms together. It was a polite yet assertive gesture towards Sejun. Do you want food? Squeak. The Black Rabbit shook his head and Kriong kriong. Kyungi, who was nodding, saw the Black Rabbit and quickly shook his head. Then what is it? Squeak. Uncle, don't you know about New Year's gift money is? The Black Rabbit quietly asked, after climbing onto Sejun's shoulder. It was a thoughtful question, considering Sejun might not know about New Year's gift money. Ah, is that it? Of course I know here. Sejun gave the New Year's gift money to Black Rabbit and Kyungi. On the 6th day of the Harvest Festival, it was a tradition for the rabbits to bow and receive New Year's gift money. Squeak. Kriong. Black Rabbit and Kyungi were happy holding the New Year's gift money they received from Sejun. I wanted to, meow. Theo quickly bowed to Sejun. He thought it was a pretty good deal to just bow and receive money. Okay, since you're the oldest brother, I'll give you a bit more. Sejun gave him twice the amount he gave to the Black Rabbit and Kyungi. Thank you, meow. Give me again, meow. Theo thought he could receive New Year's gift money every time he bowed, like a vending machine that dispenses whenever you press it. However, are you willing to have the money you've already received taken away? No, meow. At Sejun's words, Theo quietly put his New Year's gift money in his bag and took out a churro. Open it, meow. Sure. Whoosh. While Sejun was feeding churro to Theo. Squeak. Squeal. Squeep. The rabbits lined up in front of Sejun, bowed, and received New Year's gift money. Right, stay healthy. Before he knew it, Sejun was giving blessings as well. And swish swish. Gana de Ra 1. Behind Sejun, the golden bat was diligently practicing writing Korean on the floor. It was almost time to go back to Earth. Noodles, coffee, cola. He then reviewed the characters that Sejun emphasized to always bring when he sees them. After a while, he felt it. I'll definitely bring something that Sejun likes this time. The golden bat captured the back of Sejun in his eyes and disappeared. Flap, flap. What should I choose? The golden bat hurriedly looked around and found letters he could read. Then, noodles, zero coffee. Familiar characters appeared. Ah, that's it. The golden bat quickly grabbed the items and disappeared. A little later. Damn it, who is it? Who ate the ramen? It was here just before I went to the bathroom. The man who came into the break room to eat ramen grumbled while looking at the snack display rack. There's no way someone ate the ramen and disappeared within a few minutes. Plus, there were signs that a packet of coffee had been taken too. No matter how small the happiness is, this is not it. The owner, who was trying to eat in the store because he was too lazy to go out, was furious about the disappearance of the last ramen. Here, this is your New Year's gift money. Live happily. As Sejun was giving out the New Year's gift money to the rabbits who were bowing to him. Flap, flap. The black dragon statue approached. And, Park Sejun, why aren't you bowing to me? Kaiser was upset with Sejun, who didn't come to bow to him. I was going to find you after receiving bows from the rabbits. Sorry for making you wait. He didn't even think about going to see Kaiser, but he couldn't tell the truth if he didn't want to die. I didn't wait him. I, being generous, will let it slide this time. Hurry and bow to me. Yes, Mr. Kaiser, may you live a long and healthy life. Sejun politely bowed. What, Park Sejun, are you telling me to die? Huh? Already over 10,000 years old now, so if I'm to live long too, it means I should die now. He hadn't considered the long lifespan of a dragon. No, that's not what I meant. Sejun hurriedly explained his words. In our culture, living up to 100 years is considered a very long life. Wishing someone to live long and healthy means to live a very, very long time. Ha ha ha, I see. I didn't consider the frailty of humans. Here's your New Year's gift money. Spit. A black shiny object spat out by the black dragon statue fell into Sejun's hand. Given you something special of mine, consider it an honor. Thank you. He didn't know what it was, but he expressed his thanks anyway. Flap, flap. As Kaiser returned to the fountain, and Sejun checked the item Kaiser had given. Great Black Dragon Kaiser's Scale. Right arrow, the Great Black Dragon, Kaiser Pratani, has put a spell on his own scale. Right arrow, when attached to a desired area, it settles as a tattoo on the skin. Right arrow, when the owner's life is in danger, the Dragon Tribe skill, Dragon Skin, activates automatically to save the owner's life and is then destroyed. Right arrow usage restrictions. Park Sejun, acknowledged by Kaiser Pratani. Right arrow creator, Kaiser Pratani. Right arrow grade, unmeasurable. Well, it was an extraordinary item. So I just put it here like this. When Sejun placed Kaiser's scale on his left arm. Swoosh. The scale seeped into Sejun's skin, and a black dragon tattoo covering up to his left shoulder settled in place. But will I ever need to use this? He already had the power, indestructible body. Sejun thought he would never have to use Kaiser's scale, but the time to use the scale came sooner than he thought. Sejun didn't know that he would soon be facing a life-threatening situation, and he continued to receive the bow from the remaining rabbits and gave them their New Year's gift money. Did everyone get theirs? As Sejun looked around to see if there were any rabbits who hadn't received their New Year's gift money. Flap, flap. The golden bat flew in quickly. Sejun, I think I've finally found what you wanted. The golden bat came flying, tightly clutching the items in its 2 feet. How is that? Sejun was shocked at the amazing item that the golden bat brought. Is that instant ramen, mix some coffee? This time the golden bat really brought the right items. First, add 550 ml of water. Since there was only 1 packet of ramen, so failure was not an option. Sejun boiled the ramen according to the instructions on the package. To measure the correct amount of water, Sejun used the water bottle he had brought during the vanishing to match the volume of water and started boiling it. Hehe, good job, good job. Sejun held the golden bat, the top contributor of the day, in his arms and kept stroking its head while boiling the ramen water. Purr, purr. The golden bat happily purred in Sejun's arms, but there was someone who didn't like it. I don't like this, meow. Theo glared at the golden bat. Bringing necessary items to Sejun was Theo's role, and it was unacceptable for the youngest one to meddle with the responsibilities of the eldest. How should I scold it? As Theo was licking his front paws and thinking about how to scold the golden bat. Now is the time. Sejun put the noodles, soup, and flakes in the boiling water. And 12269, 270. He boiled it for exactly 4 minutes and 30 seconds as stated in the instructions, then removed the pot from the heat and moved the ramen to a bowl. Oh, the smell! He was moved just by smelling it. Hoo-hoo! Sejun lifted a chopstick of ramen and blew into the steamy noodles. It must be cooled down by now, right? Whatever. When the noodles seemed cool enough, Sejun tried them first. Slurp. The taste of ramen he hadn't had in almost 9 months made a smile appear, involuntarily on Sejun's mouth. Slurp, slurp. This time, Sejun took several sips of the ramen broth with a spoon. Well, no other words were necessary, it was simply moving. As he was eating ramen. Squeak. Kriong. The black rabbit and Kyungi came towards Sejun, just 1 bite. Sejun's eyes wavered greatly at the words, just 1 bite. Here. Sejun first gave a strand of noodles and 5 spoons of soup to the black rabbit. That was enough for the black rabbit. And then, here, Kyungi. Sejun pretended to give some to Kyungi, but suddenly he put his face in the bowl and started to slurp up the ramen. He couldn't let this be taken away. However, Kriong. As Kyungi quickly approached and started sucking from Sejun's bowl, the pressure caused the ramen noodles to be sucked into Kyungi's mouth like a vacuum cleaner. Slurp. The last strand of noodle connected to Sejun's mouth was sucked into Kyungi's mouth, and with that, the ramen disappeared completely. My ramen. As Sejun was feeling despondent. Excuse me, big brother, I brought this for you. The golden bat cautiously handed Theo a bag with a cat picture on it. It was Churu. At that moment, the 3rd competition of the Harvest Festival, the carrot wine drinking competition, will begin shortly. Participants who wish to participate in the competition, please gather in front of the Red Ribbon's giant carrot altar. The last competition of the Harvest Festival began. TL notes. 1. The characters here are the Korean equivalents of ABCD in order. Kogaenus, Konaenus, Kodaenus, Kotaenus. 2. May you live long and healthy. The blessing here when translated into English is a bit different. However, in Korean, it's like living for 10,000 years without sickness and weakness. So, Kaiser misunderstood, hence his anger. Chapter 105. How dare you eat my ramen? Take this, boop 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 boop. Sejun vented his anger at Kyungi, who had stolen his ramen by blowing raspberries, won. However, KQA Kryuing. This is fun. Kyungi, feeling good with Sejun's raspberries, stuck out his belly for more. Just then, a message announcing the start of the third event of the Harvest Festival appeared. A carrot wine drinking competition. If I could just eat the detoxifying green onions, I might be able to win. However, considering that other buffs were deactivated for fairness in the carrot harvesting competition, it was highly likely that detoxifying green onions wouldn't work. Should I give it a try? As Sejun was about to go to the giant carrot altar for the competition. President Park, give our youngest some New Year's gift money too, meow. Theo, who received a churu as a gift, began to take care of the golden bat. He was even upgraded to be called our youngest. Oh, of course I should. Sejun readily agreed. It was a golden bat that brought a whole packet of ramen. It deserved not only New Year's gift money, but even more. Sejun, please accept my bow. As the golden bat bowed respectfully, folding its wings. Good, here, your New Year's gift money. Stay healthy, golden bat. Yes, thank you. Sejun gave the golden bat some New Year's gift money. And then, let's go. He headed towards the giant carrot altar with the animals. At the giant carrot altar, there were already a mother crimson giant bear, black minotaurs, and adult rabbits waiting for the carrot wine drinking competition to start. Kryung. Kyungi ran towards his mother. However, Kryung. While the two were talking, the mother crimson giant bear shook her head. Kryung. Kyungi began to lie on the floor and started crying. He must be throwing a tantrum to participate in the contest too. It was obvious even without looking. All the contests held at the Harvest Festival so far were eating contests. However, this time it was a drinking contest. The underage Kyungi couldn't participate. Sejun silently wished the mother crimson giant bear good luck and headed under the giant carrot altar. Time remaining for registration, 7 minutes 51 seconds. Current number of applications, 532. Certainly, because it was a drinking contest, young rabbits couldn't participate, so the number of participants was low. The black rabbit is obviously participating, and Theo will participate, right? Of course, meow. Although Theo didn't like alcohol, but he participated in the contest to stay on Sejun's lap. Current number of registrations, 535. At that time, Kryung, the mother crimson giant bear, sent Sejun an apologetic glance while pointing at him. And then, Kryung, the crying Kyungi, started running towards him. No, why is she sending him to me? Even though I've been taking care of Kyungi recently, this isn't right. Sejun thought he would have to talk to the mother crimson giant bear later as he hurriedly took out honey from void storage. He planned to appease Kyungi with honey for now. Kryung, the cry asking for honey as soon as he pulled it out. As expected of a honey bear, Kyungi immediately stopped crying as soon as it saw the honey. If you eat this and wait quietly, I'll give you another bottle of honey when it's over. Can our Kyungi wait quietly? Lick, lick, lick. Kryung. While Kyungi, who was too busy licking the honey, didn't even raise his gaze, he responded loudly. After calming Kyungi and heading under the giant carrot, the competition begins. A message announcing the start of the competition appeared, and a semi-transparent red wall blocked off the surrounding area. And then, boom! A 10 size wine bottle filled with giant carrots appeared in the center, along with a drinking glass in front of the participants. Well, it was the first time he saw such a big carrot. I wonder if the wine tastes good. Sejun, who had never tasted wine made with carrots, looked at the drinking glass that appeared in front of him with eyes filled with anticipation. The transparent liquid in the glass was carrot wine. He lifted the drinking glass and slowly smelled the scent of the carrot wine. He wasn't even thinking about winning, so he focused on enjoying the drink. A delicious sweet aroma, along with the unique flavor of carrot, was felt from the drink. Having smelled it, now it was time to taste it. Sip. He took a sip of the drink. Hem. As soon as the drink entered his mouth, the deep flavor of grain and carrot, along with a mild bitterness, filled his mouth. Gulp. The drink smoothly went down his throat, independent of his will. Hela. As the cool energy of wine slid down his esophagus, a faint sweetness of grain lingered in his mouth, which cleared away any remnants of bitterness left by the wine. Ah, it's really delicious. Gulp. Sejun, who had fallen for the taste of carrot wine, ended up drinking another glass that was already filled up. As he proceeded to drink 5 more glasses without any side dishes. I'm feeling a little drunk. Sejun tried to take out a detoxifying green onion to sober up, but for the fairness of the competition, you cannot use other items. As expected, its use was restricted. Should I stop drinking? Sejun tried to stop drinking and leave, but you cannot leave until either you have emptied all the wine in the bottle or all participants have passed out. He couldn't leave until the competition was over. Should I wait? Meow, meow, meow. While Sejun was waiting for the competition to end and stroking Theo's belly. Roar. Moo. Squeak. The animals were making noises in admiration as they drank the wine. Slowly, Sejun's hand, craving more alcohol, gradually moved towards his glass. Just one more glass. Sejun lifted his glass. Gulp. The taste that naturally made him gasp. The more he drank, the more he craved the wine. I want to drink just one more glass. Drink, after all, you only live once. Who knows when you will drink again after today? No, get a grip. What if you make a mistake? You're going to die right away. The whispers of instinct and reason echoed in his head. However, I need to empty the bottle quickly. It was the victory of instinct today. Sejun, looking at the half-full bottle in the center, decided to put his effort into emptying the bottle. 55th floor of the tower. What? Tariq is dead. Grid was startled at the news of Tariq's death. He had been trying to find out his whereabouts after losing contact for a few days, but he didn't expect that he was dead. Yes, he was caught feeding locusts on the 67th floor of the tower by Yona, the chairman of the Wizards Association, and was killed on the spot. How dare they kill the elder of our Boar tribe? Bang! Unable to contain his anger, Grid broke the desk in half with his fist. Lord Grid, please calm down. I have received a message that Chairman Mason is moving his agents from the Secret Inspection Bureau in an attempt to link you to this incident and deal with you all at once. You need to quickly erase all connections with Tariq. Mason, who had always regarded Grid as a thorn in his side, moved as secretly as possible to finish Grid off, but Grid's intelligence network was not to be underestimated. Grid had long spent effort turning several of the Secret Inspection Bureau agents, operated secretly by the Wandering Merchant Guild, into his own people. There's no need to worry, there won't be any evidence. As soon as he lost contact with Tariq, Grid ordered all traces connecting him to Tariq to be removed in preparation for this situation, and his assassination team obliterated several villages to eliminate any witnesses. What about the white rabbits that were at the farm? They're all gone. Yes, they disappeared without a trace, even though dozens of guards were watching them. It's almost time for the harvest. Either find the missing white rabbits or catch other white rabbits. By any means necessary, bring me those white rabbits. Yes, I'll get on it right away. As his subordinate hurriedly left to secure the white rabbits. Creak! Grid stood up from his seat and pushed aside the bookshelf in the office, revealing stairs leading to the basement. Thud, thud. Grid descended down the stairs into the basement. The stairs led to an underground passage, and the passage led to a massive square. And in the center of the square was a white dragon statue. I, Grid, pay my respects to the great white dragon. Thud. Landlord Grid, with his massive body, bowed towards the 1-meter-tall white dragon statue. I've learned it all. Now I can see Sejun. Aileen, who had fully mastered the polymorph spell, shouted with a happy face. Now all she had to do was wait for Kaiser to signal. I can't wait to see Sejun. Aileen looked at Sejun through the crystal orb with an excited expression. This is great. Sejun, who participated in the carrot wine drinking competition, kept exclaiming as he drank. Is it really that good? Aileen became curious. This is good. So good. Good. Sejun kept exclaiming good every time he drank. Aileen's face gradually hardened as she watched Sejun. Humph, is it better than me? The tower administrator asks if you like the drink more than her. What does that mean? The tower administrator is angry, asking why you keep saying it's good, when you drink. Our Aileen is jealous of a drink. The tower administrator denies ever being jealous. Don't worry, you're the only one for me. Sejun, who was drunk and feeling good, spoke playfully. Then, the carrot wine drinking competition has ended early, as all the prepared carrot wine has been consumed. The rankings were determined as the participants drank all the wine in the bottles. Carrot wine drinking competition ranking. First, Red Fur 1000 L. Second, Minotaur 102, 103 L. Third, Minotaur 72, 102.5 L. The amount was incomprehensible considering the small glasses. Sejun didn't know it, but when the alcohol in the glass was emptied, more alcohol kept filling up so he could drink continuously. Rewards will be given to the first, second, and third place winners of the carrot wine drinking competition. The reward was a beer bottle-sized bottle of alcohol filled with carrots. You have received 10 carrot seeds as a participation prize in the carrot wine drinking competition. Sejun received carrot seeds as a participation prize. Then, wait. This time, Sejun called out to the mother Crimson Giant Bear, Minotaur 102 and Minotaur 72, who were hurrying to leave without giving Sejun the reward. Why aren't you giving it to me this time? Give me the reward. Sejun, who was drunk, confidently extended his hand. You guys better not move. Although he couldn't control his body and was swaying, Sejun angrily told the innocent animals to stay put. Give me the reward quickly. Kriung. Imuo. At Sejun's demand, the mother Crimson Giant Bear and the Black Minotaurs shook their heads hard with their alcohol bottles. Did you guys plan to eat all the delicious stuff alone? Sejun was convinced. Looking at the animals' reactions, it was clear that the reward this time was something delicious. President Theo, go. Got it, meow. Theo quickly took the alcohol bottle that Minotaur 72 was holding. Normally, Theo wouldn't have been able to take it from Minotaur 72, but now he was drunk. His reaction was slow. Here it is, meow. Well done, meow. Sejun mimicked Theo's way of speaking and opened the cap of the bottle that Theo had brought. And just as Sejun was about to drink the alcohol in the bottle, "You idiot, you'll die if you drink that." Pug. Along with the surprised woman's voice, something hit Sejun's back of the head. Your body has taken a fatal hit. Power Indestructible Body has been activated. Magic power is consumed to protect the body from breaking. You have an extreme lack of magic power. Dragon Tribe Skill, Dragon Skin is activated. The scale of the Great Black Dragon Kaiser has been destroyed. The scale of Kaiser disappeared into nothingness. Chapter 106. When the carrot wine drinking contest was in full swing. I'm jealous, so jealous. From atop the fountain, Kaiser watched with envy as Sejun and the animals freely enjoyed their drinks. The carrot wine in the bottles made from 1,000-year-old carrots tasted quite good. It's a pity, it's so regrettable, if only I had a body. Kaiser expressed his regret at not being able to participate in the contest due to his statue body. Of course, Even if he had his dragon body, he wouldn't have been able to participate in the contest. The beings around wouldn't have been able to withstand Kaiser's energy. At that moment, Grandpa, how much more time? Aileen, who wanted to see Sejun as soon as possible, asked Kaiser when she would be able to use polymorph magic spell to appear before Sejun. Be patient, the mana concentration isn't sufficient yet. Kaiser checked the mana concentration and answered. The speed of the increase in mana concentration was faster than expected due to the divine power flowing from the stone of the Creator God. How much longer should I wait? Just wait a little longer, we're almost there. While Kaiser was pacifying Aileen, the contest ended and the large bottle filled with giant carrots disappeared. Roar! The third competition of the Harvest Festival ended, and the mana concentration on the 99th floor of the tower began to surge dramatically. And then, now, the mana concentration on the 99th floor became similar to the administrator's area where Aileen was. Hehe Sejun, I'm coming, polymorph. At Kaiser's signal, Aileen left the administrator's area and used the polymorph magic spell. A bright light exploded from Aileen's black dragon body and then receded. When the light disappeared, hehe success. What remained was not a giant black dragon, but a beautiful girl in a cute black mini dress with black hair down to her waist. Her flawless white skin further accentuated Aileen's beauty. However, Aileen's first polymorph was only half successful. Due to the instability of the polymorph magic, her wings and tail remained unchanged. The tail and wings are this should be fine, teleport. Eager to see Sejun, Aileen hurriedly used teleportation magic spell. And when Aileen appeared next to Sejun, she saw him about to drink a bottle of wine. That fire energy. She felt fire energy coming from the carrot inside the bottle, and it was a considerably strong fire energy. Fire carrot wine, a liquor that burns body impurities with fire energy when consumed. But if one doesn't have a sturdy enough body, the body itself could be burned by the fire energy. You idiot, you'll die if you drink that. In urgency, Aileen instinctively moved her tail to snatch the bottle, but her tail moved a bit lower because she was not yet accustomed to her body transformed by polymorph, hitting Sejun on the back of his head. Thud. Aileen regretted hitting Sejun's head with her tail, but fortunately, the scale of her grandfather on Sejun's left arm absorbed the damage and broke. Phew, thanks, grandfather. Aileen breathed a sigh of relief. Boom! Sejun felt a strong force hitting the back of his head and thought he was truly dead this time. At that moment, roar! The black dragon tattoo on his left arm roared, protecting Sejun before disappearing. What? Feeling as if his head had truly shattered, Sejun quickly felt the back of his head carefully. Luckily, his head was fine. I survived. Only then did Sejun relax and opened his eyes wide to look for the creature that hit him. How dare you hit the back of my head? And then, you. Sejun found Aileen standing next to him. Sejun. A voice as gentle as a dream whispered into Sejun's ear. Ail. Although it was his first time seeing her in person, he knew instantly. He knew that the beauty in front of him was Aileen. Stagger. Thud. Sejun collapsed without finishing his sentence. His life had been saved, but the shock hadn't fully dissipated yet. Aileen quickly propped up Sejun's body. At that moment, Meow, keep your hands off Park Sejun. How dare you hit him? I won't forgive you, Meow. Theo spoke bravely while unsheathing his claws, but his body couldn't hide the truth. Shake, shake, shake. He clung to Sejun's knee, his body shaking like a trembling tassel, unable to do anything about it. It was no wonder, as Aileen's tail attack had turned the surrounding carrot field into a wasteland, and all the other animals had fainted, even the mother crimson giant bear and the black minotaurs. If the mother crimson giant bear and the black minotaurs hadn't blocked the aftermath of the attack, all the rabbits might have died. It was truly fortunate. On top of that, the overwhelming presence unique to the great black dragon that Aileen exuded. Despite feeling this, it was incredible that Theo still wanted to protect Sejun. In a way, it was his real loyalty to Sejun's knee. Shake, shake, shake. The vibration that started from Sejun's knee, from Theo's body, was transmitted to Aileen. It was pitiful, but on one hand Theo, who risked his life to protect Sejun even in front of the great black dragon herself, was also admirable. Theo, right? Hello, I'm Aileen, you know me, right? In order to reassure Theo, who was clinging to Sejun's knee and trembling, Aileen spoke gently to Theo. As she always saw him through a crystal orb, Theo felt very familiar to Aileen. You can't be. The great black dragon, Aileen, who called our President Park to the Black Tower, meow. Yes, that's me. At Theo's words, Aileen proudly responded. She thought that bringing Sejun to the tower was the best thing she had done in her entire dragon life. Aileen, I really wanted to see you, meow. Theo looked at Aileen with admiration. The existence that Theo admired the most after Sejun was Aileen, who had brought Sejun here. He, I wanted to see you too. It's nice to see you in person. Meow, I'm happy too, meow. Don't worry, Sejun just fainted. Fe meow, that's a relief, meow. So Aileen, supporting the unconscious Sejun, conversed with Theo. Her arms started to turn black. It was a symptom of polymorph magic fading due to lack of magic power. I think I have to go now. Why are you leaving so soon, meow? Wait until President Park wakes up, meow. I wish I could, but I can't. I'll go now. Theo, continue to look after Sejun. Leave it to me, meow. I'll protect President Park, meow. Theo puffed out his chest and said bravely. Okay, and don't tell Sejun that I hit him on the back of his head. That's difficult, meow. There are no secrets between President Park and me, meow. Okay, just don't tell him right away. Got it, meow. Good, then I'll go. Peck. Teleport. Aileen disappeared after kissing the unconscious Sejun on the lips. When will my granddaughter come to see me? In the end, Kaiser, who thought that she would come to see him, was waiting for Aileen on the fountain, not knowing that Aileen had left. Sejun woke up on the last day of the harvest festival, the 7th day, at lunchtime. President Park, you're awake, meow. Sejun, have you woken up? Squeak. Kriung. The animals that had been guarding around Sejun, who had been unconscious for almost a day, were worried about him. Yeah, I'm okay, but why am I lying here? Sejun asked. President Park, don't you remember anything, meow? Right, I remember drinking at the drinking contest, but I don't remember anything after that. Did I black out after drinking? It was a short-term memory loss due to shock, but the only one who knew the truth here was Theo, who hadn't fainted. Squeak. Squeal. Squeep. As evening came, the rabbits began to prepare to say goodbye to the departing rabbits, giving them carrots. Because when the harvest festival ended, the summoned 1,000 rabbits had to go back to where they originally came from. Most of the departing rabbits didn't look sad. They had decided to immigrate with their own groups to the 99th floor of the tower. They had plenty of money for travel, thanks to the New Year's gift money they received from Sejun. However, the rabbits who had to return to the 55th floor of the tower did not look happy. Harsh farming work, requiring them to work even without sleeping, was waiting for them as soon as they returned. Kaiwat, don't worry. The Wandering Merchant Association will soon punish Grid. Iona reassured the rabbits. Iona thought the crime this time was too serious, and even if it was Grid, there was no way for him to stay on the 55th floor of the tower. While the rabbits were greeting each other, I definitely saw a very pretty woman. Thunk. You have harvested a well-ripened magical cherry tomato. You have 67,951 times left until the job quest is complete. Your job experience slightly increases. Your proficiency in harvesting LV5 slightly increases. You have gained 30 experience points. Sejun was trying hard to recall the image of the beautiful woman flickering in his head while he was harvesting cherry tomatoes. Why can't I remember? Sejun sighed with frustration. The woman seemed to be an extreme beauty, similar to the sarang from the Moonlight Fairy whom he liked, but she now resembled a squid. Will I be able to see her again? She was really pretty. Aileen should have stepped forward and said it was her, but she was sound asleep due to the aftereffects of polymorph magic spell. At that moment, squeak, pi ppi, the black rabbit and Choo Choo came to find Sejun. Do you have something to say? At Sejun's question, the two rabbits put their front paws on Sejun's body. Squeak, I want to go down to the 55th floor with Princess Choo Choo. Choo Choo and you only, isn't that a bit dangerous? Pi ppi, pi ppi. We're going to rebuild the Red Ribbon Kingdom. Okay, but I can't allow just the two of you to go. Yona said that Grid would soon be driven out of the 55th floor of the tower, but villains are known to be tenacious and survive until the end. It could be dangerous if only the two of them went down. Even now, I had summoned the Black Wolf tribe and the Silver Wolf tribe to protect the migrating rabbits. If they are mobilized, they can rebuild the kingdom more safely. Yona, follow the Black Rabbit and Choo Choo and help them. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Yes, I was worried too. I'll go with them. Sejun added Iona to the team. With Iona's tremendous magic, they can fend off all enemies that may come, so there would be no danger. A while later. Kaiwat, Kaiwat, Kaiwat. Goodbye, Sejun. Yona, sad about the fact that she would not be able to get a good night's sleep for a while, said goodbye to Sejun, taking the Black Rabbit and Choo Choo with her. The Black Wolf tribe and Silver Wolf tribe were going to meet at the 75th floor of the tower and go down together. Meow, meow, meow. Goodbye, Jonah, meow. I'll wait here, meow. Theo, who now had exclusive rights to Sejun's lap, saw Yona off with a bright, cheerful voice. However, thump, meow. Sejun grabbed Theo, who was hanging onto his knee, by the scruff of his neck and moved him next to Yona. President Park, why am I here, meow? President Theo, it's time for you to go down too. Now it was time to work after a lot of play. Theo's bag was already full of crops. All he had to do was go down. Understood, meow. Theo obediently replied. He thought that he had been playing too much lately. It was necessary to show his face to the humans waiting for him. And don't forget what I told you. Don't worry, meow. I remember everything, meow. As the animals left and time passed, the harvest festival of abundance and overflowing mana ends. The 1,000 rabbits summoned during the harvest festival returned to their everyday lives. The harvest festival ended. It's lonely. The farm from which 1,000 rabbits had left looked very empty. Even though they were unfamiliar with where they had arrived, they knew where they were leaving from. Chapter 107. Headquarters of the Wandering Merchant Association on the 75th floor of the tower. What? The information has been leaked. Yes, among the Secret Inspection Bureau agents, there was a spy working for Grid. How did you manage the agents? Mason, the chairman of the Wandering Merchant Association, was furious at the report given by Vega, the director of the Secret Inspection Bureau. The Secret Inspection Bureau is a secret spy organization created for the Wandering Merchant Association. But the fact that the agent, who should be extracting information from others, was bought by Grid and was leaking information. I apologize. So, did you catch the agents who were bought by Grid? It was most urgent to identify the spy, because if the spy is not caught, all the plans will leak out even if they are changed. Yes. We have caught a total of 9 people, including 5 regular agents, 3 intermediate agents and Vice Director Itos, and are making them confess in the interrogation room about what information they passed on to Grid. Even the Vice Director was bought. Mason was surprised and asked back. If it's a position of the Vice Director, they would know most of the Secret Inspection Bureau's information. It was fair to assume that all the information about the Secret Inspection Bureau had been passed on to Grid. Yes, and it seems that your son's whereabouts have been exposed as well. What Jiras? Where is Jiras now? Well, at Ito's direction. He was deployed on a mission to infiltrate the 55th floor of the tower, but we lost contact with him and the agents 3 hours ago. There is a high possibility that he has been taken hostage. Ahem. It was a troubling situation. It was highly likely that Grid would demand various things in exchange for his son's life. What should I do? Just as Mason was lost in thought. Bang! The office door swung open, and animals led by Yona entered. As the harvest festival ended, a sense of loneliness swept over. Sejun quickly shook off the gloomy feeling and started doing what needed to be done. It was good to move when he felt down. I have to cut the green onions. Sejun began to cut the onion leaves that had grown lushly because they hadn't been cut during the harvest festival. He planned to harvest green onions in the wide onion field until he got tired. Swish, swish. Onion leaves were being cut quickly. Sejun was now much faster at cutting onion leaves than before. It was the effect of his agility increasing by 22.5 during the harvest festival. Now, agility was the highest stat Sejun had. When Sejun was concentrating on cutting the onion leaves, swish, swish, he saw other rabbits also cutting onion leaves next to him. The rabbits were feeling the same as Sejun. They were moving their bodies to shake off the gloom. And thus, doing the work in the green onion field slowly faded away the gloom. Phew, let's call it a day. As Sejun, who had been working in the field with the rabbits until late evening, said this. Squeak, squeal, squeep. The rabbits began to disperse, heading towards their homes. Now the rabbits had houses not only in the cave but also all over the ground. I should wash up and go to bed. As Sejun headed home after washing his face at the tap. Zing! He felt a piercing gaze on his back. Ignore it. Sejun tried hard to ignore it, but flap, flap. The black dragon statue flew and landed on the roof of Sejun's house. And, humph! It glared at Sejun again. Phew, Mr. Kaiser, why are you doing this? Sejun, who found it hard to ignore any longer, asked Kaiser. Because of you, I couldn't see my granddaughter. Aileen. Yes, is she happy just meeting you? How can I meet Aileen when she's in the administrator's area? Sejun, who couldn't remember what happened when Aileen appeared, felt wronged. Before that, please have this. Sejun took out a bottle of carrot wine that he had put in the void storage. When he regained consciousness after fainting, he found 9 bottles of carrot wine in the void storage. It was taken care of by Theo. However, carrot wine. Right arrow, a wine made by soaking carrots, which absorbed fire for 100 years in soju. Right arrow, when consumed, it increases the fire affinity and burns the impurities in the body. Right arrow, if the magic power is less than 100, the body cannot bear the fire energy due to side effects, and the fire energy burns the body as well. Right arrow producer, Red Tower Farmer Udon. Right arrow expiration date, 500 years. Right arrow grade, C+. Because of the option that the whole body would burn due to side effects if the magic power was less than 100, Sejun could not drink the carrot wine. So he decided to gift it to Kaiser, who liked alcohol. Of course, he wanted something in return for the alcohol. You're a sensible human, Park Sejun. When Sejun took out the carrot wine, Kaiser's voice became softer. Gulp, gulp, gulp. The black dragon statue poured the wine from the bottle into its mouth. After a while, this is good. The feeling of my throat heating up isn't bad. The carrot wine had enough heat to burn the body, but for Kaiser, it was just a heat that briefly warmed the throat. Do you want more? Of course, a single bottle won't even be enough to warm my liver. Here you go. Sejun obediently handed over the carrot wine to Kaiser. And when he had handed over 5 bottles of carrot wine, But Mr. Kaiser, the scale you gave me as a New Year's gift seems to be defective. It disappeared when I woke up. Please give me another one." Sejun showed his left arm and spoke. Sejun obediently gave up his carrot wine to create an atmosphere for bringing this up. "What? That can't be." At Sejun's words, Kaiser used his magic to examine Sejun's body, and a powerful mana reaction remained on the back of his head. "It's ailing." He felt Aileen's energy from the mana. Impressive, very impressive. The mana wasn't strong, but it was impressive that his granddaughter had grown to a level where she could destroy the scale with his magic. "All right, I'll make another one for you." Kaiser, who was in a good mood, readily agreed. "Spit." The black dragon statue spat out one black scale. "Thank you." If you're thankful, bring out some more liquor." "Yes, here you go." Sejun handed over 2 bottles of carrot wine to Kaiser. Originally, he intended to give only 1 bottle, but since things went smoothly, he gave 2 to Kaiser and still had 2 left. When Sejun returned home, he placed Kaiser's scale on his left arm and re-tattooed the black dragon tattoo. "It's reassuring." Sejun appreciated the black dragon tattoo that would protect his life and fell asleep. "Iona." "Hello, Chairman Mason." "Yes, but why are you here?" "I want to know what's happening with Grid's punishment." "Well," Mason began to talk about the fact that there was a spy for Grid in the Secret Inspection Bureau, and currently his son was being held hostage by Grid. "Is this the chairman's office, meow?" Squeak. While Yona and Mason were talking, Theo and the black rabbit who had followed Yona were looking around the chairman's office. "Oh, this looks expensive, meow." Theo, who naturally put the items in the chairman's office into his bag as if they were his. There was no thief like him. "And?" Squeak. The black rabbit sat on Mason's rocking chair for rest. Creak, creak. He was rocking back and forth, having fun. "They really have no manners." Mason glared at Theo and the black rabbit who were boldly stealing items and playing in his office, the chairman of the Wandering Merchant Association. He was furious, but now was not the time to get angry. "Yona, I have a favor to ask." Kaiwo, what kind of favor?" Yona was in her second stage of anger at Mason's attitude of making a mess, and then asking for a favor. "Iona, please calm down and listen. If you rescue my son, we will supply the goods we provide for the reconstruction of the Rabbit Kingdom at a 10% discount when Grid retreats from the 55th floor of the tower." "Really?" Rebuilding the Rabbit Kingdom required a huge amount of money, so Iona's ears perked up with interest. "Meow, meow, meow. Leave the negotiation to me, who learned from President Park, the god of trading." Theo boasted proudly. Now is the opponent's crisis situation. It was time to use the trading skills that Sejun used against the raccoon tribe a few days ago. "Who are you, who dares to interrupt?" Mason, who had been annoyed by Theo, couldn't contain his anger when Theo interrupted his conversation with Iona. "However, ho ho ho, if you ask who I am, it's common courtesy to answer." Theo was just happy that an opportunity to introduce himself had come. "I am the Great Black." "He is Theo, an elite wandering merchant." Iona simply introduced Theo. It did no good to spread rumors around that he was the subordinate of the Black Dragon, especially since he just stole Mason's stuff. Revealing his identity would tarnish Sejun's reputation. "What? Why is a wandering merchant taking their side? I'm the chairman of the Wandering Merchant Association." Mason was irritated by Theo's words. "Don't worry, meow. I'm not on Iona's side, I'm on President Park's side, meow." "What?" "Let's finish with a cool deal, meow. For free in exchange for saving your son. What do you think, meow?" "That's nonsense, 15%. "Give it for free, meow." 20%. "Give it for free, meow." "What's with this guy?" Mason, who had risen from the bottom to this position as a wandering merchant, was baffled by Theo, who consistently called for free. He really was an unreasonable guy, an attitude that doesn't even consider the margin rate of the opponent. He was curious about how he became an elite wandering merchant without even knowing the essence of negotiation. Does he have a backer? It was possible considering that he was traveling with Iona, but it was not in Iona's nature to carry such a burden. President Theo, let's stop here. It seemed that the matter would not progress in this way. Meow, what are you talking about, Meow? The negotiation isn't over yet, Meow. Really? Then I can't help it. I will go directly to the 99th floor of the tower. Sejun's knees are Kaiwat. You can't do that, Meow. Theo was taken aback by Iona's laughter. There was no greater threat to Theo than this. Then shouldn't you finish the deal on the 38th floor of the tower quickly? Okay, Meow. Iona should also solve the 55th floor and not go up, Meow. Okay, I promise. Then I'll go, Meow. Having obtained a promise from Iona not to go directly to the 99th floor of the tower, Theo hurriedly went down to the 38th floor. Day 271 of being stranded. There's not much time left until the blue moon. Sejun said, eating cheese soup and bread for dinner. Sejun's mind was very relaxed as he welcomed the 10th blue moon because he trusted Aileen. Fortunately, Aileen, who had been sleeping soundly due to the aftereffects of polymorph magic spell, opened her eyes in the morning. The tower's administrator asks if you really don't remember what happened during the drinking competition. Yeah, I think I drank too much and blacked out. The tower's administrator is angry and asks why you drank enough to black out. Aileen was momentarily shocked that Sejun did not remember their meeting, but she thought it was a good opportunity to make a good first impression with Sejun again. Thanks for your help today. The tower's administrator shouts loudly to trust her. After finishing his conversation with Aileen, Sejun spent the day cutting green onion leaves and did not harvest crops. This was to increase the chances of the energy of the blue moon permeating the crops. And when there was about an hour left until midnight, guys, get into position. Sejun sent the rabbits and poisonous honeybees to various fields. It was to not miss the crops imbued with the energy of the blue moon. Soon after the blue moon rose, but time passed and Aileen did not appear. Aileen. Sejun urgently called Aileen. Chapter 108. He, Sejun will praise me again. Aileen went up to the roof, thinking she would be complimented by Sejun during the blue moon. And then, tum. Scrub, scrub. Aileen hummed a tune as she earnestly polished the front of the cylindrical searchlight item with a black dragon drawn on it. Soon after, the blue moon rose. Heh, it's my time to shine. Thump. Aileen confidently pressed the switch on the searchlight item. However, whoosh fizz. The light switched on and then went out. Huh. Thump, thump. Aileen, feeling something was wrong, hurriedly switched it on and off, but there was no response. Grandpa, help me. Aileen urgently called Kaiser. My granddaughter, what's wrong? The searchlight item you gave me isn't working. That's impossible. What I made is perfect. Check how many green squares there are on the switch. Green squares on the switch, was there something like that? Indicates the magic power storage rate. Is that so? Following Kaiser's words, Aileen checked the squares on the switch. They're all gray. All 5 of the 5 squares were gray. Usually when Aileen passed out, Kaiser, who came to the administrator's area, had the chance to recharge, but this time, the portal didn't open. No, that means all the stored magic power is used up. You can only use it again if you recharge the magic power. The timing was bad. Normally, Aileen, who had grown a dragon heart, could recharge the magic power, but she was unable to recover all her magic power due to polymorph. Furthermore, Kaiser also used up all his magic power to assist Aileen's polymorph, making it difficult to help Sejun. Kyuhuhu, I'm sorry, Sejun. Aileen quickly looked for Sejun through the crystal orb. The tower's administrator tearfully says she might not be able to help this time. I understand. The tower's administrator says she's sorry. It's okay. Sejun answered, pretending to be calm, and looked around. Complaining and getting angry here wouldn't help at all. Guys, get into the house quickly. Squeak. Whoosh. At Sejun's shout, the rabbits and poisonous honeybees who had sensed something strange began to quickly enter their houses. However, thump thump, there was not enough time. The rabbits and poisonous honeybees were already affected by the blue moon, losing their sanity and their bodies starting to transform. No. If the animals lost their sanity, they would attack each other and many lives would be lost. Create thunder clouds. In his urgency, Sejun created a thunder cloud with a radius of 1 km to cover the sky. Fortunately, it worked, and as the blue moon was blocked by the thunder cloud, the rabbits and poisonous honeybees began to return to their original state. Go home quickly. Sejun quickly sent the animals home. Just then, Ruwara. Bang bang. The body of Mother Crimson Giant Bear grew even larger as it went on a rampage. Thunder cloud. Sejun tried to gather all the thunder clouds above the head of Mother Crimson Giant Bear to cover the blue moon, but it seemed to have no effect in its rampaged state. Ruwara. Bang. The thunder cloud was scattered by a single punch of Mother Crimson Giant Bear. We're doomed. Sejun hastily ran towards the cave. At this point, the only option was to hide in the cave and wait for the blue moon to end. Then suddenly, Kriung. Hug. While running towards the cave, Sejun saw a Kyungi sleeping, using a stone in front of the house as a pillow. Kyungi. Sejun hurriedly called out to Kyungi, sleeping calmly in such a dangerous situation. Kriung. Kyungi, who just woke up from sleep, looked around. Follow me, Kyungi. Kriung. At Sejun's words, Kyungi followed Sejun, rubbing his eyes. Master, are you okay? As they descended into the cave, Flamey greeted Sejun. Yeah, I'm okay. Kyungi is, why are you okay? Sejun, who was about to tell Kyungi to avoid the blue moon, realized that Kyungi had been basking in the blue light of the blue moon while sleeping. Kriung. Kyungi also asked back as if he didn't know why. Why am I okay? Sejun and Kyungi didn't know, but when Sejun became Centurion Landlord, he made the animals as guards, and Kyungi became immune to the effects of the blue moon. The guardian had to keep the field safe, so he always had to stay sane. Kriung. Perhaps because it was sleeping time, Kyungi laid on the rock that used to be Sejun's designated rock and began to sleep again. Roar. Mother Crimson Giant Bear appeared above Sejun's cave. Please just go. Sejun prayed in his mind, but sniff, sniff. Mother Crimson Giant Bear sniffed around intensely, looked down, and locked eyes with Sejun. Nothing's going right today. Sejun lamented his bad luck for the day. Just then, a good idea popped into Sejun's head. Flamey, use the flame of purification on Mother Crimson Giant Bear. Yes. If it was Flamey's purifying flame buff, which purifies negative energy, it might stop the rampage of Mother Crimson Giant Bear. Yep. When Flamey used his first leaf with a shout, the green leaf turned white. At the same time, the white flame flew towards the leg of Mother Crimson Giant Bear and was absorbed. Whoosh! The white flame, which started from the leg of Mother Crimson Giant Bear, instantly swallowed the entire body of Mother Crimson Giant Bear. Roar! Fortunately, when the purifying flame began to burn, Mother Crimson Giant Bear's rampage stopped. In this way, the white flame gradually faded as it burnt off the negative energy Mother Crimson Giant Bear had. A moment later, after the flame disappeared, what remained was Mother Crimson Giant Bear, whose fur had turned pink from red, purified of all negativity. I guess I should rename her Pinky. Sejun spoke, looking at Mother Crimson Giant Bear. Roar! It seemed the Mother Crimson Giant Bear liked her changed fur color as she licked her fur and looked around cautiously. Thankfully, no other monsters came until the blue moon ended. Phew, that was a relief. Sejun let out a sigh of relief. It was a dangerous situation, but they had gotten through the blue moon without a major incident. Let's sleep for now. The relaxed Sejun used Kyungi's belly as a pillow and fell asleep. Get ready, Yona warned as they were about to enter the 55th floor of the tower. Pi ppi. Squeak. Yes. Yes. Choo Choo and the Black Rabbit, as well as the Black Wolf tribe and Silver Wolf tribe, who had joined on the 75th floor, prepared to enter behind Yona. Then let's go. Oh, power of the wind, prevent any noise from spreading. Silence. As Yona used a silence spell and entered the 55th floor first, the animals followed. Who's there? As soon as the animals emerged from the passage, the Boar tribe warriors guarding the corridor shouted, but their voices did not spread due to Iona's silence spell. Garg. Buffy. The wolves quickly subdued the Boar tribe warriors. Let's go straight to Grid's mansion. I know the location. Elka, who had been to Grid's mansion before, took the lead. The quicker they moved and the later the enemies discovered their invasion, the better. Their goal was to infiltrate, subdue Grid, rescue Jiras. Once Grid was subdued, they decided to leave the rest to Mason. So when they arrived at Grid's mansion, Yona and the animals found Grid's mansion covered by a dome of opaque energy. Thud, thud. It looks like a barrier. Elka spoke, biting the handle of the huge battle axe that had been carried on his back. It was a relic guillotine retrieved after killing Tarek. Rumble. Elka swung the guillotine with a movement of his head. Crash. A red energy erupted from the guillotine, tearing apart the barrier, creating a large hole in the barrier. Let's go in. Yona and the animals entered the barrier. After the animals had entered, swoosh, the hole in the barrier started to close. Rumble. Sejun, who had been sleeping using the belly of Kyungi as a pillow, woke up due to the loud rumble from Kyungi's stomach. Should I sleep with Kyungi next time? It was very comfortable sleeping on Kyungi's belly. It felt like sleeping on a cloud, and it even had the function of an alarm to wake up in the morning. Kryung. I'm hungry. As soon as Kyungi opened his eyes, he started looking for food. Let's go eat. As Sejun got up and went outside. Well, he saw crops all over, glowing with a blue aura. They were magical cherry tomatoes imbued with the energy of the blue moon. Let's eat quickly and then harvest. Kryung. Kyungi cheered at the mention of eating. Sejun quickly entered the kitchen and made soup. He wanted to harvest the crops as soon as possible, so he just ate soup. Squeak. Squeal. In the meantime, the rabbits woke up and ate breakfast together. After having breakfast, okay, let's go. Sejun started harvesting crops with Kyungi. Puppy, you've harvested a magical cherry tomato imbued with the energy of the blue moon. You have 61,287 times left to complete the job quest. Job experience slightly increases. The proficiency of harvesting LV 5 slightly increases. You have gained 150 experience points. Sejun put the harvested blue cherry tomato directly into his mouth. Crunch. Slurp. Juice burst out as soon as he bit into the skin of the cherry tomato. Wow, it's delicious. You've consumed a magical cherry tomato imbued with the energy of the blue moon. Your magic power permanently increases by 0.3. Since there were a lot of cherry tomatoes imbued with the energy of the blue moon today, it was okay to eat a few without WPRing. Kryung. Kyungi pointed at himself with his front paw, indicating that it was his turn. All right, here. Sejun found another blue cherry tomato and gave it to Kyungi. When about 100 of the blue crops had been harvested, you've harvested 100 crops imbued with the energy of the blue moon in a day. Job experience greatly increases. This is new. It was new information that harvesting 100 crops imbued with the energy of the blue moon gave additional job experience. Kryung. Kyungi rushed Sejun to harvest more, pointing at the tempting blue cherry tomato. Got it. Shortly after, the harvesting of the magical cherry tomatoes imbued with the energy of the blue moon ended. Now let's harvest regular cherry tomatoes. As Sejun was about to harvest the regular red tomatoes, Kryung. Kyungi called Sejun from the front of the sweet potato field. What huh? When Sejun arrived at the place where Kyungi had called him, 5 blue sweet potatoes had been dug up there. Kyungi, how did you find these? Kryung. They smell. Kyungi pointed to his nose and said, Smell. According to Kyungi, crops imbued with the energy of the blue moon had a unique fragrance. Thanks to this, they could find crops imbued with the energy of the blue moon even if they were buried in the ground. In this way, they were able to continue harvesting blue crops, and when the number of blue crops that Sejun had harvested reached 200. You've harvested 200 crops imbued with the energy of the blue moon in a day. Job experience increases significantly. Again, he was able to earn additional job experience. And your job experience is now full. The rank of Tower Farmer C increases. You have become a Tower Farmer B. As the job rank increases, job characteristics are strengthened. Finally, the job rank has increased. Great! Sejun, who could now harvest higher-grade crops, was delighted when Flash! A golden light burst out from Sejun's straw hat. Relic, St. Patrick's straw hat, confirms the user's job rank increase. Tower Farmer B confirmed. The grade of the artifact, St. Patrick's straw hat, increases to B. The B grade restrictions are lifted. Restriction on skill, Earth's Blessing LV, 5 is lifted. Restriction on skill, Farmer's Body LV, 4 is lifted. Restriction on skill, Bountiful Harvest LV, 3 is lifted. Restriction on skill, Growth Acceleration LV, 2 is lifted. Skill Farmer's Talent LV, 1 is unlocked. Sejun checked the skills of the St. Patrick's straw hat. Earth's Blessing changed from a slight increase to an increase in the rate of magic power recovery. Farmer's Body increased all stats from 5 to 7. Bountiful Harvest increased the maximum area from 1,000 to 1,650 square meter for a bountiful harvest. The Growth Acceleration changed the growth period of the crops from a week to 2 weeks without any side effects. And Farmer's Talent. Sejun checked the newly opened skill. 1 more LV, 1. Right arrow, every time you harvest 1,000 of the same crops, you can get 1 more. It was decent enough. Good job, Kyungi. Sejun praised Kyungi, giving him a blue sweet potato. If Kyungi had not found the blue crops in the ground, it would have taken much longer to raise his job rank. On the 272nd day of being stranded, Sejun became a B-rank Tower Farmer. Meow. Theo's mood suddenly worsened as he descended toward the 38th floor. What meow? Who's getting President Park's favor, meow? Theo's knee detector was evolving. Chapter 109. How many are there? Sejun counted the number of crops imbued with the energy of the blue moon that he harvested. 201, 202221. There were still 221 crops left, even after he had shared quite a few with Kyungi. Good. Sejun looked at the harvested blue crops with satisfaction. 150 cherry tomatoes, 31 sweet potatoes, 20 potatoes, 20 carrots. First, I'll eat about 80 cherry tomatoes. A blue, C-grade cherry tomato increases his magic power by 0.3. Sejun's current magic power was 48.75. He was planning to raise his magic power to 70 to unlock the Throw Thunder skill. We can share the rest. Kryung. When Sejun said he would distribute the crops, Kyungi emphasized not to forget his contribution. Of course, I'll make 10 special honey sweet potatoes for our Kyungi. Kryung. At Sejun's words, Kyungi cheered. So let's get to work. Sejun began to harvest the normal crops with Kyungi. They first went to the tomato field to harvest the cherry tomatoes, of which they had the most. And then, snip, snip, a little while after they started harvesting, you harvested 1,000 magical cherry tomatoes. One more LV1 is activated. You obtained one additional magical cherry tomato. When he harvested 1,000 cherry tomatoes, the one more skill activated and they got one more cherry tomato. 1,000 plus 1. Although there was no dramatic effect, he thought it would help if it accumulated bit by bit. He continued to harvest in this way. Kryung. When the box was filled with cherry tomatoes that Sejun harvested, Kyungi, who had been lounging around in the void storage, got up and stacked the box in the storage. Thanks, crop gigantification. Sejun used the crop gigantification skill on the magical cherry tomato to be given to the hard-working Kyungi. The magical cherry tomato is enlarged 5 times. Your job experience increases very slightly. Your proficiency in crop gigantification LV1 increases slightly. The cherry tomato became 5 times bigger, roughly the size of a pumpkin. Sejun used crop gigantification on 10 cherry tomatoes to enlarge them and gave them to Kyungi. Kryung. Kyungi was happy with the cherry tomatoes that not only tasted good, but also filled his mouth. So every time Kyungi moved a box, Sejun used crop gigantification on the crop he would give to Kyungi, and soon, the magical cherry tomato is enlarged 5 times. Your job experience increases very slightly. Your proficiency in crop gigantification LV1 increases slightly. Your proficiency in crop gigantification LV1 is filled and the level increases. His level quickly increased. Thanks to this, the size of the crops enlarged by the skill increased by 6 times. Let's eat now. Kryung. At the mention of food, Kyungi quickly got up. Kryung. As Sejun started cooking while humming, Kyungi followed and sang along. And then, squeak, squeal, squeep. The rabbits gathered to eat dinner after finishing their work. Eat these. Sejun handed 20 blue carrots to the rabbits. He had already eaten some cherry tomatoes with Kyungi, and during the harvest festival, his agility had increased a lot, so he gave all the carrots to the rabbits. The potatoes were used for soup, and besides the 10 honey sweet potatoes to be given to Kyungi, the rest of the sweet potatoes were all made into roasted sweet potatoes. I didn't know the dragons would love roasted sweet potatoes so much. At first, he thought only Aileen liked it, but it turned out that Kaiser and Anton also loved roasted sweet potatoes. Choo-choo. While the food was being prepared, the rabbits waited while eating carrots, and Sejun ate blue magical cherry tomatoes to raise his magic power. You have consumed a magical cherry tomato imbued with the energy of the blue moon. Your magic power permanently increases by 0.3. By the time he had eaten 71 cherry tomatoes, your magic power has exceeded 70. The seal of Throw Thunder of Rain Thunder LV1 is unlocked. All the seals on Rain Thunder LV1 are unlocked. Based on the accumulated proficiency, the skill level of Rain Thunder LV1 increases. Your proficiency in Rain Thunder LV1 is filled and the level increases. Your proficiency in Rain Thunder LV2 is filled and the level increases. Oh! As soon as all the seals of the skill were unlocked, the level of Rain Thunder skill instantly rose to 3. It was thanks to Sejun practicing to make thunderclouds and increasing his proficiency. I should try this in the Western Forest tomorrow. He couldn't use Throw Thunder here, so he planned to use it on fire ants. Just then, Kryung. Kyungi started urging Sejun, asking when his honey sweet potato would be ready. It'll be ready soon. Sejun planned to finish the cooking to match the time the soup would be ready. A little later, it's ready. Sejun completed the soup, honey sweet potato, and roasted sweet potato at the same time. Flap flap. Park Sejun, you rascal. Hurry up and bring out the roasted sweet potatoes. Kaiser, who had been waiting for the food to be ready, flew over, shouting. The tower's administrator asks if he is angry with Sejun. What angry? Absolutely not. Kaiser, calmed down, and you too, Aileen. Sejun calmed the dragons and took out the roasted sweet potatoes from the fire. I'll give you 15, Mr. Kaiser, but you'll have to share with the other dragons. Oh, thanks. Rumble. The black dragon statue swallowed the roasted sweet potato that Sejun handed over in one gulp. And then, Aileen, I'll give you 5 roasted sweet potatoes and 50 cherry tomatoes. Thanks to the increase in magical talent from consuming honey jelly, the condition of the dragon heart has greatly improved. That's why Aileen was now able to eat magic-enhancing crops again. The tower's administrator says thank you. After distributing the roasted sweet potatoes to the dragons, Sejun started his meal with the animals. Sejun sprinkled pepper into the soup and then scooped the soup with chunks of potato. Hoo-hoo! He cooled the soup with his breath and put it in his mouth. The taste of the ingredients, combined with the seasoning of salt and pepper, created a perfect flavor. In addition, the crispy texture felt every time he chewed the perfectly cut potatoes. Wow! It was so delicious. Of course, having light meals for breakfast and lunch played a part in this. As soon as he finished a bowl of soup, you have consumed the purple sea peas potato soup, imbued with the energy of the blue moon. Your strength permanently increases by 0.2. The effect was lower than the original, but it appeared even without eating the whole serving. Oh! Just as Sejun thought he should eat another bowl of soup. Tong tong. Kriang. Kyungi appeared disappointed as he tapped the completely empty pot and stared at its bottom. He had managed to eat all the honey-sweet potatoes and devour the soup in just a minute after the meal began. Kuahata. Kaiser laughed heartily as he peeled the skin of the roasted sweet potato. The roasted sweet potato was so hot that steam was coming out it, but Kaiser, who had high fire resistance, wasn't affected by the heat at all and peeled the skin. It was an ability that Sejun would have been very envious of. Kaiser took a big bite of the roasted sweet potato, revealing its yellow flesh. He was supposed to share with the other dragons, but he was eating it all by himself. I can't share something this good. After all, it was clear that the nature of the dragon was greed. Oh! Whether it was due to the energy of the blue moon or not, it had a much richer flavor and aroma than the previous sweet potato. As he ate the roasted sweet potato, his throat gradually dried up. That's when... Pop! Glug glug glug. Kaiser opened a bottle of fire carrot wine he got from Sejun, filled a large cup with it, and drank it in one gulp. Kaya. When the fire carrot wine went down his throat with the sweet potato, the dryness disappeared. At the same time, his mouth felt refreshed and ready to eat more roasted sweet potatoes. Kuahaha, good, very good. Hehe, well done, my granddaughter. Kaiser was enjoying fire carrot wine with roasted sweet potato as a snack, praising Aileen for appointing Sejun as the tower farmer. Whoosh! Kaiser quickly covered the roasted sweet potato. A moment later. Father, what are you eating alone? Anton, who hurried back from the patrolling outside, asked Kaiser with his sharp eyes. The room was filled with a strong smell. What do you mean eating? I was just having a simple drink. Kaiser tried to act as nonchalant as possible. If it was revealed that he had roasted sweet potatoes, he would have had to share with the other dragons. Hand it over. What are you talking about? The roasted sweet potato. How did this damn ghost know? Here. Kaiser took out a roasted sweet potato. However, I know you got 15 from Sejun. Eek. At Anton's words, Kaiser grimaced. Kaiser didn't know, but Anton had also been listening to the conversation with the black dragon statue. Thus, Kaiser's plan to monopolize the roasted sweet potatoes came to nothing. After having dinner, Sejun was pondering why Kyungi didn't go berserk during the blue moon. He concluded that the only difference was that Kyungi didn't change because he was a guardian. So he intended to designate Mother Crimson Giant Bear as a guardian instead of Choo Choo. But once a guardian is assigned, it cannot be changed. A once designated guardian could not be changed. It doesn't work. Sejun stood up from his seat, thinking that he must carefully assign a guardian next time. Kyungi, let's sleep together. Having slept with animals continuously these days, it felt somewhat empty to sleep alone. However, Kryung. At Sejun's words, Kyungi shook his head and ran away. He said he would sleep with Mom. What am I doing at the age of 26? Sejun, overwhelmed by Kyungi's rejection, regained his senses, went into his room and lay down. Snooze. He fell asleep easier than he thought. Sejun, I'm here. Screech. In the corner of the bedroom ceiling, a nocturnal golden bat kept watch over the sleeping Sejun. Representative Theo, why are you doing this? Intern Jeff, who had joined on the 67th floor of the tower, asked Theo, who was grimacing. Theo was taking a few of the interns who were helping to rebuild the 67th floor of the tower down to the 38th floor. This is bad, Meow. Speed up, Meow. More. Shut up, Meow. Do you want to extend the contract, Meow? Theo yelled at the cat interns who were grimacing. Understood. There were no interns who could refuse in front of the cat boss. Thanks to running quickly, Theo arrived at the camp on the 38th floor of the tower 50 hours after leaving the 99th floor. Humans, I'm here, Meow. It's Theo. The cat merchant has appeared. Hunters hurriedly ran at Theo's appearance. Pew Hugh Hut, were you waiting for me that much, Meow? Theo was pleasantly surprised by the hunter's attitude, who welcomed him more than he expected. Of course, why haven't you been here lately? Yeah, do you know how many days we've been waiting here? The hunters responded, forming a circle around Theo. They were preparing for the auction. Bill, Jeff. Yes. Yes. Bill and Jeff took out wooden boxes from their bags and stacked them one by one. And then, jump. Theo climbed up on the boxes. Let's start the auction, Meow. The first auction is the magical cherry tomato, Meow. He announced the start of the auction. Then, make way. Please make way. Hunters carrying hunters who were poisoned and unconscious with blackened skin entered the camp. Move, Meow. Thump, thump. Theo quickly moved and put detoxifying green onions into the mouths of unconscious hunters one by one. I thought you only cared about money. You saved people without any hesitation. Theo's unexpected action changed the hunter's view of him. However, Pew Hugh Hut, I made money, Meow. Unlike what the hunters thought, Theo, who had planned to make money regardless of the hunter's thoughts, didn't need any calculations, and among the unconscious hunters was the guild master of the Wizard Guild, Lucilia. Chapter 110. As the hunters who ate the detoxifying green onions began to regain their original skin color, and their rapid breathing started to ease. It'll take time to be fully detoxified, Meow. Theo casually stood up and climbed back onto the wooden box. In Theo's hand was a piece of paper. Pew Hugh Hut, President Park will love it, Meow. Theo had quickly taken thumbprints of the hunters while feeding them detoxifying green onions. His hands were faster than the eye. Theo carefully put the contract into his bag, thinking about how happy Sejun would be. Then, let's start the auction with 500 magic cherry tomatoes each, Meow. Theo shouted charismatically. 870 tower coins for 500 pieces. 890 tower coins for 500 pieces. A higher than usual bid. Due to Theo's long absence, there was no supply outside the tower, so the prices were rising. In addition, after witnessing Theo's good deeds here, the hunters unknowingly spent a little more money to help Theo, who had suffered a loss. Thanks to this, he was able to sell 5,000 magic cherry tomatoes at about 1.9 tower coins each. Next is the power sweet potato, Meow. Theo thought this trade would be a brief, as the sweet potatoes didn't receive a good response in the last auction, but 1,500 tower coins for 500 pieces, 1,600 tower coins for 500 pieces, 1,800 tower coins for 500 pieces. Contrary to Theo's thoughts, the hunter's response was explosive. This was because the true value of the power sweet potato had been revealed. It actively stimulates bowel movements. Of course, it helped to promote regular bowel movements, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. Consuming the power sweet potato resulted in more active bowel movements and increased absorption efficiency by 5 times. That is, eating one power sweet potato and one detoxifying green onion together produced the same effect as eating 5 detoxifying green onions. 2,500 tower coins for 500 pieces, 3,000 tower coins for 500 pieces, 4,000 tower coins for 500 pieces. Therefore, the auction was heated, and the price of the power sweet potatoes skyrocketed. 50,000 tower coins for 500 pieces, 60,000 tower coins for 500 pieces, 120,000 tower coins for 500 pieces. The hunters fell silent at the sudden doubling of the price. 120,000 tower coins meant buying the power sweet potato for 240 tower coins each. The winning bid for the power sweet potato at the last auction was 1 tower coin, so it increased by a whopping 240 times. But if you think about it, it was cheap. 1 power sweet potato does the work of 4 detoxifying green onions. And the price of the detoxifying green onion at the last auction was about 80 tower coins. Even if you buy the power sweet potato for 320 tower coins each, it's still worth it. Plus, the effect of the power sweet potato isn't limited to the detoxifying green onion. It also applies to the magical cherry tomatoes. Even if you eat one, it feels like you've eaten 5 and keeps your vitality for a long time. Of course, it also applied to ordinary medicines. Sold meow. In the ensuing auction, Theo sold the power sweet potato for an average of 250 tower coins each. And then, next up is the detoxifying green onion. The auction for the detoxifying green onion began next. 40,000 tower coins for 500 pieces. 41,000 tower coins for 500 pieces. 42,000 tower coins for 500 pieces. The price was somewhat settled from the last auction, and it didn't rise much when the power sweet potatoes appeared. Then, I'm only selling 5,000 detoxifying green onions today, meow. What? Why? The hunters, who were leisurely watching, thinking that Theo would sell 10,000 detoxifying green onions as he did in the last auction, were taken aback. And then, 52,000 tower coins for 500 pieces, 53,000 tower coins for 500 pieces, 60,000 tower coins for 500 pieces. The hunters hurriedly joined the auction. Thanks to that, the price went up and Theo was able to sell 5,000 detoxifying green onions for 154 tower coins each. Pewhut, I've earned over 2 million tower coins, meow. Theo, let's take a picture. Female hunters approached Theo, who was happy for exceeding his highest sales amount, asking him to take a photo. It's not possible, meow. Why? I still have one more crop to sell, meow. Really? Upon hearing that there was a new crop, the scattering hunters gathered again. The new crop for sale is agility carrots, meow. Come and see, meow. The hunters examined the options of the agility carrot at Theo's invitation. They had already expected that it would increase agility just by hearing the name. The crucial part was the effect when a non-awakened person ate it. It improves eyesight. Can even those who have lost their sight regain it? Puzzled by the vague description, the hunters contemplated whether to buy the agility carrots and return to their positions. Let's start, meow. 500 tower coins for 500 pieces. The hunters estimated the value of the agility carrot based on the effect of improving agility, as they could not know how much it improved eyesight. As the auction proceeded, 550 tower coins for 500 pieces. There was one hunter who was buying the agility carrot at a slightly higher price. It was Kim Dong-sik, the leader of the Phoenix Guild's third team. I'm investing all my fortune here. Based on his past experiences, Dong-sik had realized that the crops sold by Theo were cheapest when first introduced and when people were skeptical. And in the next auction, once the value of the crops became known, the price would skyrocket. That's why Dong-sik believed that now was the cheapest time, and he invested all his fortune to buy 3,000 agility carrots. Sold out, meow. When the auction ended, and Theo and the interns were taking photos and receiving rewards from the hunters. Hunters who had been poisoned started to regain consciousness. Wake up. Late at night, someone called Sejun. What is it? As Sejun rubbed his eyes and looked around. Flap, flap. A golden bat was flying in front of Sejun. Sejun, you're awake. A ant has come for you. Ant? Yes, it's waiting outside. Listening to the golden bat's words, Sejun went outside the house. Thump, thump. As Sejun came out, the ant waiting in front of the house extended its head with a blue seed. It looked like a seed imbued with the energy of blue moon. Did you come all this way for this? Sejun placed his hand on Int's head and asked. Yes, seed take, please. Okay. Snap. Sejun plucked the blue seed from Int's head. You've obtained the mimic seed. Your job experience slightly increases. Your proficiency in seed harvesting LV4 slightly increases. Mimic seed. Sejun examined the seed. Mimic seed. Right arrow, a seed produced by an ant that has absorbed the energy of the blue moon at a very low probability. Right arrow, it mimics the closest seed or crop. Right arrow grade A. So it mimics. As Sejun was examining the seed. Ankayu. The ant expressed gratitude to Sejun for plucking its seed, and then, thud thud, began to return to the western forest. I should be the one thanking you. Sejun waved until Int was out of sight. And then, which crop should I plant it next to? Sejun wondered where to plant the mimic seed. But, yawned. He was too sleepy. Let's think about it in the dream. Sejun put the mimic seed in his pocket and went back to sleep. And then, in the morning, Kryung. Kyungi came into the bedroom and woke Sejun up. What's the matter? Yesterday you just left me alone. Sejun said, feigning annoyance. Kuwa. Kyungi burst into tears as Sejun didn't welcome it. Daddy is angry. Vroom vroom. Kun started the engine of crying. No, Daddy's not angry. Pad pad. Sejun quickly patted Kyungi's butt to soothe him. If Kyungi cried, it would use more energy and thus would need to eat more. And Sejun has to prepare the food that Kyungi will eat. I can't make the child cry first thing in the morning. As Sejun soothed Kyungi. Kryung. I'm hungry. Kyungi, who had stopped crying quickly, pushed out his pink belly and said, Okay, let's have breakfast quickly. Golden Bat, let's go. Yes. Sejun took Kyungi and the Golden Bat to the kitchen and prepared breakfast. During the preparation, the rabbits woke up and helped Sejun. After having the prepared breakfast, the mimic seed. Sejun took out the seed from his pocket. But, what came out from the pocket were 2 5-colored bean seeds. He had completely forgotten about it since he bought it from Emil, the raccoon tribe chief. The mimic seed in his pocket had transformed into the 5-colored bean seeds that was already there. What does it matter? Since he didn't specifically have anything to do with the mimic seed, Sejun was not too disappointed. Let's plant them. Since he had only 2 seeds, he didn't want to plant them in the field. Sejun dug the ground with his dagger next to the fragment of the divine stone and planted the seeds. You've planted the 5-colored bean seeds. Your job experience slightly increases. Your proficiency in seed sowing LV 6 slightly increases. Due to the effect of proficiency increase LV. 1. Your proficiency in seed sowing LV. 6 has increased by an additional 5%. After planting the 2 5-colored bean seeds. Today, we will harvest cherry tomatoes in the morning and go to the western forest in the afternoon. Got it? Kryung. Yes. Sejun told Kyungi and the Golden Bat the schedule for the day. Anyway, he has to work alone. Let's work. Sejun went into the cherry tomato field alone and started picking cherry tomatoes. Puppy, you've harvested a well-ripened magical cherry tomato. You have 50,017 times left to complete your job quest. Your job experience slightly increases. Your proficiency in harvesting LV, 5 slightly increases. You've gained 30 experience points. There's still half left. Sejun said, looking at the job quest message. The progress was slower than he thought. And while he was diligently harvesting cherry tomatoes, buzz, a poisonous honeybee came. Huh, what's the matter? Buzz, the poisonous bees from the east are swarming. Really, Kyungi, let's go. Sejun hurriedly took Kyungi and moved east. Can you move now, meow? Theo, who had returned after taking photos, asked the hunters who regained consciousness. Yeah, thank you for saving us. Thank you. The hunters expressed their gratitude to Theo. It's okay, meow. If you're thankful, follow me, meow. Dongsik, you follow too, meow. Me too. Yes, meow. Theo took Kim Dongsik and the hunters out of the camp. As they were moving. 1. Be competent. 2. Let's become humans. They could hear someone shouting from afar. Is he going to the master? Upon hearing the sound, Dongsik realized where Theo was heading. But why is he going to the master? He felt a sense of rejection because he himself had just come from running around with the Black Wolf gang members until a few days ago. Soon after, as Dongsik expected, they arrived where Han Taejun was. Old man, it's been a while, meow. Theo, why are you here so early? These guys are not ready to become competent yet. Eek. The Black Wolf gang members were shocked at Han Taejun's words. I came because I have something important to discuss, meow. Something important, what is it? First, write a confidentiality agreement that you'll keep what you hear here secret, meow. Theo handed over a new contract. This contract only contained information about maintaining confidentiality. Should we stand further away? The hunters who had followed Theo asked. They did not want to hear any secrets and complicate matters. There's no need for that, meow. Theo took out the contract he had put away earlier and began to write the contents of the agreement. Stamp first, then contract. It was a truly crafty way to make a contract. Then, welcome members. From now on, you are founding members of the Earth Defense Force, meow. And I'm the Deputy Commander of the Earth Defense Force, codename Yellow, meow. Theo, having finished writing the contract, shouted to the hunters. Of course, Sejun was the commander of the Earth Defense Force.